think it's really fair to say that MarineLorD is the favored person in this set, right?
Tough to say when how it comes to giving me hope. Like VortiX, he's always like that Lucifron plus when it comes to aggression. Like I think Lucifron, when it comes to two brothers, he is a bit more of the macro oriented players. Vortex doesn't have those breaks. He does not have those breaks. He only knows go. And in many situations, especially in the current meta, I think that can definitely be the better way to play in many situations. Once you get on top of your opponent and you make sure that he can't shake you off anymore, those are the situations where VortiX absolutely shines. Like he gets into those situations like no other. He knows the timings in and out for so many different civilizations. It is no surprise that VortiX gets hailed as the best full aggression players.
And I think that is why when we mentioned the stats earlier, Dabston, against Beastie, VortiX had a much better win rate than his brother, right? It's that all-out aggression, but has to be said, that's the way MarineLorD likes to play it, right? He's not really your hunker down and turtle type player.
No, not by any means. MarineLorD's definitely that one that he can kind of play all aspects of it. He's not necessarily the 11 out of 10 on aggression like VortiX is. He's not necessarily 11 out of 10 on macro like Beastie maybe. It's kind of one where he's kind of almost tens all across the board. He's been that solid player, that top of the board for quite some time, and he's really been the favorite kind of pretty consistently here now, I feel like.
And now we are, of course, initiating our map draft by Surfshark. And I'm already seeing some of this got me smiling, Crackety. Moving out's making it in. There's potential for more chaos here. I was mentioning that might be the way where VortiX can get an edge in this series because I know MarineLorD's been scrimming, but there's always a question mark. Can anyone scrim as much as these Spaniards when their average game time is like 10 minutes?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Like VortiX and Lucifron, like no other, they play so many custom games. Like you can actually check their profiles right now. You go on their profiles and you just select custom games, how many they played. It is a lot. They like these players have more custom games played than I have games played total on their accounts. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, moving out here, it's such a fun map whenever that one comes up. I just can't help but smile. Surely for the players, it might be a bit frustrating to play that map as it can be very chaotic. For the viewers, however, it is always such a treat to enjoy.
Woohoo! It's happening, Dabston! We've got some migration. I think the most underrepresented map in this entire tournament, only being played once so far.
Yeah, so not only do we have moving out, which I will agree with Crackety, it is definitely a fan favorite, a viewer favorite. It's fun to cast as well. It's always a mix up, but we also have migration, which another map, very interesting, kind of has this change of pace gameplay. It's almost the reverse when you think of moving out, where moving out, you're kind of starting on your island together and you got to move to the outskirts to kind of get some extra resources, get your gold. With migration, you got enough resources on your main island, but you're going to need a lot more on the middle central island and then to get over to your opponents.
So we should have called it moving in, is what you're saying.
Works for me.
Yeah, really big shout out to the map creators for these, by the way. I think Biddlin may have worked on migration. He's really hyped when it came out. Moving Out is a community creation via Kaivayu. If you've not checked out the maps and games, I recommend everyone to give him a gander. He even has a bunch of small maps, which are great if you find the team maps are a bit too big for normal size play. But it's time to start kicking off the Civ drafts, and VortiX already coming in strong with a Roos opener. It looks like we will not be seeing any Juji this time, Crackety.
Yeah, VortiX, I think you just saw the last game, making sure that Juji is not going to be on the menu, depending on if these water maps come in early. Securing Roos early on, that's definitely a very good pick there for him. Getting English in as well. Last set, we didn't see English at all, but English currently in their current form, especially on maps like Dry Arabia, for example, should MarineLorD choose something like Byzantines, for example, English, I want to say, have very few, if not no bad matchups at the moment. Like one of the bad matchups that I could imagine would be Delhi at the moment. Other than that, I'd be hard pressed to really find a lot of bad matchups for them.
Yeah, I've even seen some people creeping Mount Four Lakes to decent success. But overall, VortiX, really strong picks here, Dabston. Ibid's coming in. I wonder, is there that concern that right now what VortiX is doing is drafting a Civ pool that we think is OP on Dry Arabia? But as we saw so far in this tournament, like the Byzantines, these OP picks on your map rotation in pubs don't really translate into the Master of Realms pool.
Yeah, well, fortunately, you're talking about VortiX here, who is known to be one of the hybrid map players we just talked about so much with Lucifer on hybrid maps. Well, his practice partner, that custom game player, him and VortiX, they are nonstop on those hybrids. But yes, you were 100% right. When you were looking at the civ pool for VortiX, it is definitely reinforcing open map, just dry Arabia-esque, even following up with the Byzantines as well with another one. So the only one that you can really say is hybrid-esque is gonna really be Rus on Four Lakes, and then you can even throw a Ubids in there because of the cheaper docks, and you can kind of get some timing plays. So I could see that coming in on like one of the migration or I guess archipelago. But all the other ones are definitely more of the land maps.
Yeah, it does almost feel like the tail end of Vortex's draft is focused more on the closed maps, Crackedy, because I'm seeing like Malians, Ottomans, Byzantines. I'm immediately thinking Woodwall and Hillendale.
Yeah, that's definitely the case here. And he also banned Byzantines for MarineLorD, then picked them himself. Could be
What-
that we're seeing a rare Byzantine VortiX here.
I'm assuming that French pick is just because MarineLorD he knows he's going to redraft here, because that's weirded me out. That is, I think we've only seen the French work once, and that was the Puppy Paw game where he baited his opponent on Archipelago.
Yeah. I mean, this is one where the redraft is one that you cannot forget about. It's the best of 7, so we're getting a redraft after 4. So that almost kind of leads me right back to VortiX's, hey, yeah, he might be picking a lot more land civilizations, but this also means when it's dry Arabia, he has his pick. It's not just going to be, oh, I know exactly what I'm up against. Here, let me pick the counter civilization. It's what's it really going to be? What am I going to be playing against? And then I can go ahead and get the redraft. He's still got Rus for Four Lakes. He's still got, another a Ubids there for another hybrid if he so desires. And so, and he could even throw some Molly cheese when it comes into the chaos maps as well with some transport ship action and stuff. So it's really one where he has allowed himself kind of this variability.
Yeah, I think it says a lot that, I think we've consistently really just been seeing Zhuji and Chinese getting banned as much as possible across the board, right, Crackety? The two most banned civs in the entire pool. It really speaks volume to the hybrid nature of those particular fellows.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm back again.
Well,
Wait,
welcome
no,
back to
move me up. Migration got picked this time, baby. You know what
Ooh.
hasn't been getting picked? Holy Island, trash map. Only 2 picks overall this entire tournament.
Water Drake.
Oh yeah, put me on Wardrake. Wait, no, actually, in fairness to
I was
him,
not going to do that. Oh, no, I
goodbye,
knew
Dabs.
it.
no, the idea is you drag him down, you bring me up. But the interesting part is actually Wardrake somehow has been picked 3 times in this tournament.
I know. When you said the least picked map, I was about to say Water Drake, and I was like, oh wait, no, it actually is not the least picked map, and
No.
Cal wants to see it picked more.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course he does. He made it, right? But the interesting part to me is that I wasn't really expecting Holy Island to get ignored so much, Crackety. Like 2 times it's been played this entire tournament, considering I'd call it a staple of hybrid play amongst the competitive community.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Like not seeing Holy Island being picked as often here, it's surprising, especially since it's just a map that's been around for so long. Players know how to play that map. Maybe that's also like, especially here with the Spanish brothers being like, okay, I want to have more water-ish maps like Migration, like Archipelago, less land, and just really focus all in on that water play.
And I'm thinking when we get deeper in this set, do we have enough water maps for us to lean VortiX here, Dabston? Or is this a bit too land oriented where I think it'd be fair to say we favor MarineLorD, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one that you got the water maps. You also got I would say one of the water maps being migration could almost be thrown into the chaotic realm somewhat. But leaning into VortiX, he obviously made a focus into that land picks with his civilization choices, but did not end up playing out with Dry Arabia. He ended up going with Byzantines, but I would say MarineLorD getting a good civ choice against that Byzantine play.
We've seen it once today already, right, Crackety? It was on Hill and Dale in the earlier set. But would it be fair to say Dry Arabia is an entirely different beast?
A little bit in the case that it's more open, right? So you have the ability to move out, switch around to other resources. Like if your opponent denies you one, chances are you have a much easier time to go over to another resource. Um, at the same time as well, like in Hill and Dale, we saw a big issue for Beastie in the last set that he only had access to one gold mine. On Dry Arabia, more often than not, we get gold mines all around, like your base, all around the map. So you have way more chances of moving out onto a hidden gold mine that your opponent might not spot immediately.
And, you know, sometimes Mongols kind of get conned on the spawners where I right, Dabson. I feel like Dry Arabia almost always feels like a coin flip with Mongols. If you don't get good neutral trade posts, you're quite locked in to a particular build.
Yeah, I mean, going in with the deer stones, we actually have seen some players go with deer stones, and then again, if the neutral market's absolutely worthless, then you can't end up dropping trade late at all. But we have seen some go with the deer stones into trade later on, or going in with second TC. But that can really just throw Mongols a complete wrench in their game plan going into it. But that's what they want to end up doing with the Byzantines. So that's where we saw the first outpost placement in the game earlier. It was able to not only deny the berries, but also the gold that was right next to it. So that was one of the key things that we saw early, where we might not see that same thing with the map spawn here.
And you know my feeling this, Crackedy. I feel like actually people have been sleeping on Deerstone. Do you think there's been kind of a resurgence in interest in that landmark instead of just always going for Silver Tree?
You asked that of the player that did the top 20 challenge with Mongols, no trade TC only.
Yeah, so I'm setting you up to really just there we go. The brag order came through. Do you just want to drop your CV in here as well? It's like I can also GG a lot. Not in this tournament though. He'll be banned every time. But I think the other interesting thing to me is like when you look beyond this map, this starting map, Crackedy, right? And you think where we're going to go here. We mentioned VortiX's draft and how it feels very landlocked. Is this the type of map pool? I don't want to say it makes you think Roos is underpowered, but it's the type of map pool that knocks Roos from traditionally a top 2 pick to like what, a top 6 pick?
I mean, that's where I think VortiX actually has a pretty good idea about how this is going to go for the first 4 maps, right?
Yeah.
So starting off on Dry Arabia, he's picking Byzantines there. If it goes to moving out, he has Ayyubids. If it goes to Four Lakes or any of the other water maps, he has Roos potentially. Hill and Dale, he could pick English if he wants to, or Mali. Mali also works really well there. Woodwall, he can pick English there as well, or Ottomans. I think Ottomans work quite well there. I think he has something for enough maps to get to the redraft in a really comfortable spot.
And when we get to that redraft, that's where it's getting really spicy. I mean, funnily enough, last time H3 got let through, we just never, unfortunately, got to see it. No Game 7 for that particular experience. When we get to that redraft, do you think H3 could make it through Dabston, or do you think there's simply going to be too many maps left for it to even be allowed?
I mean, that's where last time we saw the redraft happen, and we saw, you know, first time Zuji and HRE really not coming through, and second time both ended up being allowed through. So I think the players will really have a whole different game plan when it comes into the final 3 maps, and we could see the Civ choices flipped completely upside down. MarineLorD, I feel like his focus here, he did a really good job of picking all the water civilizations out of VortiX's hands, and even has a couple extra ones for himself, you know, with Japan, even Abbasid, and obviously we have Order the Dragon as well. So a couple different choices for his water civilization maps.
Crackety, VortiX is usually more of an early morning gamer, and MarineLorD is a full degen who wakes in the night. I realized that first set went on for a while. Are we not approaching maybe an extra advantage for MLord?
Could be, but I think like both these players have enough history when it comes to esports that they probably like adjusted their sleep schedule accordingly in order to deal with that kind of time shenanigans.
Well, I think we're going to find out. Remember, folks, going into this series, MarineLorD has an absolutely dominant win record up against the Spaniards. Over 80% against both VortiX and Lucifron alike. In this tournament, MarineLorD has yet to drop a single game all the way through Master of Realms after winning the previous EGC tournament. Is this a year for MarineLorD dominance? Will he feature in every single grand finals as we truck forward? It's time to find out. We kick off our second semifinals. MarineLorD opens with the Mongols, and VortiX, he'll be going to the Byzantines.
All right, here we go. Starting off a new series. MarineLorD in the color pink, switching up the colors a little bit here, playing as the Mongols, and VortiX on the other hand side, playing as the Byzantines in the color yellow. And something that I see here is something very nice for VortiX. Both the gold and the berries are on opposite sides of his base, and the berries are in the back. That is very, very important here when you play as the Byzantines. There's also nothing else really next to the berries. So an outpost on the berries would really only delay your berries. Nothing else.
Yeah. Makes the winery play just much smoother, much easier, kind of pays off a lot sooner because that olive oil starts to flow on in, so your first mercenaries come out sooner and allows you to have that kind of Byzantine snowball much earlier on.
Right. A little bit unfortunate though. The first cistern is not going to be in range of the gold, but then again, probably doesn't make too big of difference, as I would imagine. Yeah, MarineLorD, he did open up with that barracks. The gold mine should probably get deleted anyways.
Yep, we'll have enough to age up here with the next drop off. Winery will be coming in here in the near future, right as the spears start heading across the map.
Yeah, has enough gold gathered now. Villager moving across as well. Question is, where is that outpost going to be coming in? It looks like VortiX, yep, is very likely going to be deleting that mining camp. There we go. Mining camp gets deleted. Make sure there's no bounty going to be going over to MarineLorD. And now the Grand Winery comes in.
Wow.
Quite a bit far out, but
I was about to say, much further out than I was expecting, but with what you had said, with like there's nothing over in that area, so an outpost in that spot would really kind of be questionable. It would delay up the olive oil flow, delay up the winery from actually doing something and stop the berries, but I think we'll see what MarineLorD has as far as that early focus goes.
MarineLorD's being greedy. Okay, never mind. For a second, I thought that he was just going to play this with 2 spearmen. But no, he just waited for the stone income to be able to get another batch of double-produced spearmen out. So he is going to get another bunch out.
It is going to be an outpost in the winery, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it. When you do, after all, still want to delay the oil play. What's VortiX doing? Is he going for a villager pull there on the outpost? No, he's just rushing up the winery with more villagers. What's the response going to be? Maybe we do just see MarineLorD getting pulled. I want to see, if possible, like, maybe it's worth just pulling villagers for a single gather trip from gold to get the textiles upgrade in, to then burn down the outpost. Just going to be important that he doesn't use Akratoy if he wants to go for that. We saw how that went last Byzantine game.
Yeah, well, MarineLorD also saw how that went, so he knows what to expect if it does end up happening. He'll be laughing all along if it does. But VortiX just pulls on back away after winery is finished, and just on the wood and on his food.
Silver tree coming up for MarineLorD, and the markets are in a pretty nice spot here in the corner, or rather on the far side. Sometimes we do see the markets kind of like in the middle of the map, which can make trading quite awkward. Not going to be the case here. Barracks is coming up for VortiX, so will just be that limit and I play.
Yep, and he is getting that next cistern in, getting the water level expanded up to level 2.
I'll be able to boost that villager efficiency from +10 to +14%. Pretty much like a passive golden age tier 1 that he's getting there. Quite a nice economy bonus. First limit 9 now in queue. And we'll see just how many limit 9 VortiX will want to make before he goes in. I think the timing is going to have to be whenever that silver tree gets finished up, because that's usually when the outpost emplacement gets queued and you want to go for the rush before the emplacement comes in.
Yeah, and that's where you just saw MarineLorD pull a few more villagers off of food onto the silver tree. He wants to get that finished up a little bit sooner. So how many limited and I will it end up being? He's already got 2 out, 2 more in queue. Villager has made its way all the way home, and there we go. The age up finishes.
One issue that I see here from MarineLorD is he's only got 4 spearmen. 4 spearmen inside of an outpost are not going to be enough to two-shot villagers. He's gonna need 3 volleys, but doesn't look like VortiX is pulling anything so far. Outpost emplacement is coming in, and the drop-off comes in. Okay, for a second I thought forced drop-off into pulling the villagers. No, he's just going for double barracks. All right, so it's just gonna be pure midnight spam in order to get rid of that outpost. He's gonna have to take the emplacement then.
Yeah, I feel like he could have just gone a little bit sooner with some villagers, but I guess didn't want to worry about the idle time at all. Spearmen now jump on inside the outpost. Limit and I on top of the outpost, burning it on down with the torches. You can see the damage being done though.
You only need to get it to burn. After that, you can just retreat. Aren't any villagers there to repair? 2 Limit and I go down. Might
Looks
be
like he's just
3.
gonna finish it off.
Yeah, looks like it. Helping out as well now.
The spears are just gonna try to run on away since they're outnumbered and would lose that fight. And VortiX just turns on around, so this is the point where now we're kind of looking at, hey, feudal ages happen, it's all delayed. Mongols got to play their game, but outpost gone, and trade's really not online yet either. So VortiX is in a fine positioning point.
Yeah, and he's gonna now finally get access to olive oil. We do see the mercenary house coming in. We do also have our handy little trader counter now. That tells us just how many traders are out. And MarineLorD, with the double production, already has 6 archers out on the field. VortiX, he's got 10 Lamintinae. Just a ton of Lamintinae right now out there, which are gonna help him act as a meat shield. And that is the upgrade for javelin throwers, I want to say. Silk roads. It's so tough to tell. Might also be longbows. I think longbows would make a lot of sense here. So tough to tell sometimes with the image. Oh,
We'll see with the first queue.
should be coming in soon. I don't think it
Next.
should be Keshik. Like, Keshik would be the weirdest one here.
Yeah. Next drop off here, and there it is, javelin throwers.
Javelin throwers, okay, yeah. So it was at Silk Road.
4
Silk
archers
Roads,
here.
I'm not sure how much sense that makes, just because longbows are so good in this matchup. Sure, javelin throwers are fine, but when it comes to like these big masses of archers, you kind of do want to have the longbows because the javelin throwers lack a lot of the attack speed that the archers have.
Yeah, and you can see this is where MarineLorD's just happy kiting back with these archers. Limit and I are closing the gap though. Movement speed arrow was already utilized.
Still, it's a lot of damage, and VortiX can't utilize the shield wall here, because if he does, the archers are just gonna be able to run away.
Yeah, really needs that first set of javelin throwers to pop on out before he can really deal with the archers well and efficiently.
Yeah. You need 6 javelin throwers, if I recall correctly, in order to one-shot one of these archers. So he's gonna have to rely on that second batch of javelin throwers in order to really start hammering away at them. Before that, he will definitely need to kite, because archers, they can still do, in mass, a good enough job against the javelin throwers when there's only 4 out.
You can see how one of those good old Limit and I broken off trying to kill a trader, but just not really doing too much damage. Takes a lot of time.
Imagine if those traders were cavalry.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even need to make the argument there.
But hey, one of them ends up falling. Gold gets spotted out. Will be some annoyance, but I believe it will get taken down before the villager does.
Yeah, looking good so far. That's a lot of Lamintinae that we have out here right now. 22 Lamintinae. Only 4 javelin throws though, against 15 archers. And I have to be really, really careful here. These numbers, if VortiX gets caught out of position, that's gonna be a lot of military going down. MarineLorD spots them out, is gonna run away with the villager.
Pretty sure the
from
Khan's
MarineLorD?
just been trailing this the whole time with the archers. So let's
Yeah,
talk
there
about
he is.
out of position. We are indeed out of position. There are the 4 javelin throwers as well. The spears are there, and this is not good. VortiX needs to close the gap with the rest of those Limit and I.
Lamintinae approaching.
Oh, the
west
next
side,
set of
the
javelin
javelin
throwers though.
Yeah, you really want to get them in together, because you want to start one-shotting those archers. That's when it's really starting to get tough in these low-ish kind of numbers. But VortiX, he's once again pushing further towards the market, really wants to shut down that trade. We are to 5 traders so far for MarineLorD.
Yep, looks like MarineLorD dropping another archery range. One
Wait,
doubling
no.
down on his play.
9 traders? Where is he getting all those traders from?
He is booming on up with the traders. Did he switch markets though?
Think so. Yeah, look, the traders are moving to the other side now. So all the military from VortiX on one side, MarineLorD's just going to trade to the other market. Now also harassment on the gold there from VortiX. He's going to get the bounty.
VortiX got ranged armor in queue at least, and I believe is he on a different gold vein, or is that just income per minute from earlier?
He's not on. Yeah, he's not on another gold vein. So right now, no gold income at all. Might just be like the all-in feudal age play here that we do sometimes see from Byzantines. Not the most popular one, but one that can work. The Kerasiphons do a lot of damage as rams, and here we go. Fight is going to be happening now.
Limited using that front line to their best ability. Javelin throwers just sniping out the archers consistently. And just being able to one-shot them is so effective. Limited not getting taken down as fast as you'd expect.
That was without +1 Pierce armor.
Yeah, VortiX actually doing pretty well with this fight. But now doesn't have the numbers to one-shot the archers, and this is where the fight turns completely upside down.
Yeah, he's lacking +1 damage upgrade from the blacksmith. That's why he's not able to one-shot anymore. But overall, fight didn't go that badly here for VortiX overall. Khan also will get taken down. I think he lost like, what, 12-ish spears? But at the same time, he took down a lot of archers and a lot of spearmen from MarineLorD. So overall, pretty even-ish, if not slightly favored for VortiX trade-wise. Because you can afford losing Limit Now, you can't afford losing the Javelin Throwers.
Yeah, the big problem for VortiX, though, is he is not yet denied this trade. He's moving over to the eastern side now, but that's where the traders are about to make a huge drop-off from MarineLorD. I think there's like 7 or 8 traders that are all about to hit his silver tree.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of income there. He's got 10 traders. A couple traders are getting found out now, though. Will get taken down. And MarineLorD will have to once again reassign his traders to the other market.
And the other market actually we saw some Limited Eye taking down the outpost that MarineLorD had built on that other side. So there's still some units on that western side waiting. Especially if they can get the outpost down, that would be very huge for VortiX, and it looks like they have. So VortiX has 2 different army groups split and ready, trying to deny that trade.
I want to say that right now, MarineLorD, he's making only archers. And VortiX, he's making only Limit and only the Javelin Throwers. Without a farm transition, at one point, you're going to have to make archers. And I think VortiX needs to make archers rather soon in combination with the Javelin Throwers. Like, this is not enough olive oil income for him right now in order to keep up with the archers that MarineLorD will produce. Because at one point, Javelin Throwers don't have that much health compared to like other 3 armor units in the game, 3 Pierce armor units in the game, like Knights or Men-at-Arms. So get enough archers out, and you will start being able to one-shot them. Like, first you're able to decimate the front line, then you're able to one-shot the Javelin Throwers. Because the Javelin Throwers just really lack that attack speed. So,
yeah, you start overkilling quite a bit too if you don't like really efficiently split up your Javelin Throwers into different groups.
Yeah, when it comes to those situations, that bonus attack speed just matters so much. Your overall, like, not DPS, but your kills per second are gonna be a lot higher. There we go. I think MarineLorD, he might have enough archers here for it already. Is starting to commit. VortiX is microing with 2 different groups of Javelin Throwers.
Yeah. You can see how well he split them up into 2 different groups. That way he's not overkilling as much as he would beforehand. But look at the front line. Limited A absolutely decimated. Now it's just the Javelin Throwers. It is just the range mass from MarineLorD, but
It doesn't quite want to take that fight right now. Instead, now he's going into Kashyyyk, so took down the entirety of the front line from VortiX. And after such a good trade, he's just going to back off, get some Kashyyks in, and then he's got the answer both to the Javelin Throws, the Limit Eye, and anything else that VortiX can really make right now.
Yep. Still continuing to kind of pull VortiX out with these archers, but Keshiks haven't yet arrived. There's a few more Limitané on the way. So even when they do, might still be okay. And VortiX, if he's able to clean this up, there's a lot of villagers there, but next set of MarineLords groupings are on the way.
That's not a good trade. These Javelin Throwers, they're so much harder to replace than those Limitané. You really don't want to have them exposed like this. But him losing the Javelin Throwers, that's not something that he can really easily rebuild at all.
Yep, and you can see the Keshiks now here, and VortiX, he was kiting. Right when the Keshik arrives, he has to just straight up run away. Limitané arrive at the perfect time, though.
Gonna be able to at least buffer that Keshik off again. But behind this, like the army count, 31 to 18, and the trade is going once again, now without any interruptions.
Yeah, I feel like this was so weird. VortiX just kept making Limitané against the archer mass, and it's like, yeah, they do have shield wall, and you're getting another unit that counters archers, but not enough. And MarineLorD wasn't really making other units other than archers, so lost a lot more units than for the resource he was putting in.
Yeah, VortiX, he seems to want to go up to the next age right now. He's starting to mess up the resources. Issue that I see here is that this army from MarineLorD, it's going to be really, really tough to hold off. And there we go. First Keshik gets sniped by a Javelin Throwers. Bro, this is going to be enough, though. He's able to keep the archers away for the time being, but no, MarineLorD, he keeps going in. Villagers will have to pull off the gold, and now we're at the point where VortiX has the food to go up, but doesn't have the gold.
Just now got enough with that. Golden Horde Tower is on the way, but look at what resources MarineLorD already has in the bank. Not too far away from Castle himself, and he's got that extra economy, that extra boost with it, with all that, 15 traders now.
Yeah, lots of income for him right now. Economy looking really good. Golden Horn Tower. Is it going to be enough? At the very least, VortiX, he has enough resource to immediately get the veterancy upgrade on his mercenaries. I think that's going to have to be a priority here. If you get veterancy on those Javelin Throws, suddenly you reduce the damage the archers do from 2 to 1. And you're able to also just do a lot more damage to those Keshiks. But MarineLorD, as soon as the Age of comes in, I think he's just going to throw everything that he has right now, his entire army, under TC from VortiX.
Yeah, Kurultai is on the way, but MarineLorD, he's still just so far ahead right now. 46 archers. Even with the upgrade, I feel like 16 Javelin Throwers isn't enough.
Is he going to go for it? His own Age-Up is coming in, so might not want to go for it anymore. Should just get the upgrades in now. He is just burning down that mining camp with the archers.
With archers.
As you do. People complain about Jugunu. But yeah, taking that one down. Veterancy has already been researched on the Javelin Throwers behind this. And right now, VortiX, I want to say he's got a pretty good food income. If he can just hold this right now, get a big enough army mass out with the mercenaries to push out. The one thing that you can't do is move out too early, because you need to win the next fight. The next fight is going to be crucial.
Fortunately for him, he's starting to mass up those Varangian guards, which will do great against the archers. But, I mean, 53 archers with veteran and steeled arrow coming in as well. They're still going to do a decent bit of damage. And numbers aren't quite massing up as quick for VortiX as you would expect. Byzantines, you know, they're kind of known for that civ that they'll have, like, you know, 50 economy but 100 military. MarineLorD did such a good job with those first couple trades that VortiX hasn't been able to get Byzantines onto that level that you'd expect.
I think overall, though, he should be quite fine. No relics yet so far inside for VortiX. I'm surprised that he hasn't, like, made a monk yet. I guess it was at that time when the army was right in front of his base where he just needed military over the relics, but he still has that landmark, that Grand Winery, which allows him to get a monk out and start getting those relics now behind all of this. Veterancy upgrades have come in, though, for MarineLorD. It's a lot of archers that he has. With the Kurultai, +2 pierce damage has also come in. And with the Kurultai, with all of this, he will actually be able to do a ton of damage, even against the Javelin Throwers.
Oh, Kurultai needs to unpack, though. Kurultai still hasn't unpacked. Kurultai. Okay.
There we go. And now the damage. It's going to be coming in.
Couple
Archer's moving a
Varangian
lot
guards
more
still
now.
on that front line, but there's enough Keshik here to just get on top of those javelin throwers. Not enough Varangian guard, not enough Limitane there to defend this on up. And VortiX, he looks like his army's getting cleared up, and it looks like game one going to MarineLorD here.
Could be. Still has a couple of javelin throwers. Now villagers hiding inside that TC is going to be doing a lot of damage now with that TC as well. Units starting to somewhat get out of the Kurultai range, I want to say. If the archers, yeah, a couple of the archers are outside of that range right now. But yeah, javelin throw is actually still getting decimated here right now. And GG gets called. MarineLorD sitting under the TC from VortiX. No more food income there. No more oil income. And that is going to be game one going over to MarineLorD.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's almost, you're making spears into archers. Obviously, you have the shield wall ability, but it's still kind of a similar sense in my eyes. I felt like he just was not taking good trades early on, and VortiX got a hole that was too much to come back from.
Yeah, I feel like in those situations, something that you really need, because that was the moment in time where VortiX just needs to stay alive and Byzantine Eco might carry. One thing that you really need to get in those situations, and that cannot be underestimated, is an outpost with a Mangonel emplacement. That could stall out the game for another 3 to 4 minutes and buy you enough time to really get that Byzantine mass up and going.
But not enough in MarineLorD, proving yet again up at the top. Very, very clean first game, but starting out with a clean first game. I don't know if that'll be the word that I will be using to describe that this next one here.
Yeah, moving out with Japan versus Ayubits. I think we're in for a good one. I think we're in for a really, really good one. Ayubits so far, I feel like have been looking like one of the top civilizations like the top civilization when it comes to moving out. Japan also isn't bad, I want to say. But I feel like it kind of pales in comparison to the Ayubit. Like you get the cheaper docks, you get the really, really fast age up as well with less resource that you need to spend. It's gonna be interesting to see what MarineLorD has in store here for us with Japan. Sure, like when you gather gold, you also get stones, so you got the ability to get the emplacements in. Still, I want to say though I favor Ayubit. Something though that we've seen time and time again from Ayubit and Abbasid players on moving out is they put their landmark, their House of Wisdom, on the main island, which kind of like always opens up that possibility for landmark snipe.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been a couple games, especially on moving out, where we've seen like one person control the center and one person control the outside, and if you're the person controlling the outside but you're Abbasid, you lose the game. You just get rammed in the center, or if you're just doing that last ditch effort and you're just you've lost the water, you've lost the outside, just build a bunch of rams on the main island and go for it. There's not going to be that much left there, or hopefully left there to defend.
Exactly. 1 minute left now. That separates us from game number 2. VortiX on a map like moving out might be a little bit favored here. Could be his chance to equalize the series. MarineLorD, on the other hand, I want to say I wouldn't favor Japan in this matchup, but if he manages to pull it off with Japan versus Ayubit on moving out, gonna find himself in a very, very good spot with a 2-0 lead.
Yep. Does have those cheaper fishing boats, but I feel like moving out's still one of those maps where you have your kind of main couple fishing boats for the long haul, and it's really hard to actually fully deny your opponent's water just because the proximity of the TC. You might see an outpost or two dropped on the edge of the islands as well that we'll see at times. Usually, you'll see kind of like a Chinese on this map as well with a Barbican or something of the sort. But
Battle for wood in the middle.
yeah, exactly. Kind of fight for wood in the long haul, and kind of this craziness where all of a sudden the outposts start just attacking and villagers start falling. But time will end up telling. Looks like we are jumping into this game number 2.
All right, here we go. In the Chaos category, one of the most entertaining maps during this tournament. Moving out, we got MarineLorD spawning in the color pink yet again with the Japanese. Both players greeting each other here with the scout at the bottom side of the island. VortiX in the color yellow playing as the Ayubits. And man, like just looking at this map, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, this is moving out. It's sort of like a land map with a water donut, but on this middle like part of the donut, there's no gold. Players only have access to wood here, which is why you have to move out in order to get gold.
Yep.
Unless you're China.
Unless you're China, which we have seen a couple mirror matchups or China versus Juji's on this map where they just gather up that tax to end up aging up and don't move out at all, which I feel like is isn't really fair because you're not playing the way the map's supposed to be played. But none of that here. We have VortiX doing the typical, getting his fishing boats out early. That's why you see him with the economic lead already.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get with like that really cheap dock. You can immediately place that dock, and there aren't any straggler trees, so players are incentivized to get the lumber camp up immediately. Instead, MarineLorD wasn't able to put the dock down immediately, or at least not be able to get fishing ships out of that one immediately. Yeah, that's a slight fishing ship lead here, but what's most important here is going to be the age-up choice for VortiX, because so far with IU-bits, we've pretty much always seen in Feudal Age the advancement wing being chosen, which means that you only need 30 gold, 130 gold total, in order to be able to age up. So you can go for some incredibly quick age-ups here with IU-bits, something that civilizations that aren't China or aren't Julius Legacy can't really match, because those civilizations, they get tax. They don't have to move out. VortiX, he only needs one trip with 3 villagers on the outer island in order to immediately get enough gold for his age up. So the timing there is going to be hugely in his favor, and we do see MarineLorD, he did have to invest into a transport ship a little bit earlier, will now pull the 3 villagers to go out and get some gold for the age up.
Yeah, so he is already on out and about. The good thing for MarineLorD playing Japan, you see him only having 5 on to the wood line instead of 8 like VortiX has, and that's just because the cost of the fishing ships are so much cheaper. It's actually allowing him to do this, and obviously that's where, you know, every civ has their little kind of opportunity cost to each thing.
Exactly. Scout now also being out on the outer ring, which means that MarineLorD, not that sheep are really like incredibly important here on this map, but they can matter if the game like drags out a little bit. And all the sheep are on the outer ring, so MarineLorD being the first one to move out is going to have a little bit of a head start when it comes to the sheep gathering. VortiX just now moving out as well.
Yep, like you said though, a little bit of a difference though.
There we go. Isn't gonna set himself up for failure. House of Wisdom going out on the outer ring.
That
Maybe
one
ecoing?
thing, yeah, but the big problem here though that I see is he doesn't have, like, on the main island you can at least still get your tier 1 pretty quick. Like you can't really get it here now. Like you got enough lumber camps, you got houses on your main island.
What if he's going eco wing? So he already has like 3 villagers outside, so he can just start gathering up more wood on the outer ring. And then instead of just building the buildings on the middle, he's just gonna build them all on the outer side and still be able to get like the golden ages, right? Yeah, look at that. He's not going for advancement wing.
Military wing just stops your opponent from the outside, no gold at all, and then he just booms up with all of his demo ships.
Could be. Coca Township is now coming in for MarineLorD. He's also getting another dock up on the top side of this small little island there.
And he's getting some scouting in with that transport ship.
Yeah, we'll be able to know that these docks are going up. And MarineLorD, he's also scouting the age up. I think the age up has just been clicked, and it's going to be economic ring growth. All right, so more villagers going to be coming out for VortiX here.
Yep, will allow VortiX to jump up on the eco even further than he already is ahead. Obviously, that is due to the extra fishing boats, a little bit of the lead he had there, but MarineLorD should be able to catch up no problem, especially considering he dropped that extra dock in the north. Looks like VortiX, though, getting his second dock in the south.
The main issue is going to be the next minute, because this age up is going to take a lot more time. I feel like, yeah, VortiX, he needs to like kind of buy himself a little more time. We see a small wall coming out there at the bottom side of the island, another dock coming out as well. Right now, VortiX needs to buy time, but the first ship is already going to be in queue here. And VortiX, he's going to have to somehow find a way to keep his fishing ship safe.
I think he just dropped I think you just drop one more dock next to your main TC, and then you got enough spots for 9 fishing boats, and you have your TC to defend. Or am I
Ship is
crazy?
coming in. Yeah, the TC should be in range, but it's still gonna be awkward, right? Like, you'll have to idle villagers for that. Fishing ships are getting pulled. Hide inside the dock for now. And I think there's another dock now coming up for MarineLorD. Yeah, on the southern side there. Shinobi's also coming out. Shunshin over the wall. And Dom's getting set on fire.
He did not end up dropping another. VortiX has 500 wood in the bank. Why didn't he drop another dock?
I would love to tell you. I don't know.
Oh my
ships,
gosh,
good
micro though, unbelievable.
Able to keep those safe. We got a wild fishing ship there from MarineLorD as well. And now Age Up is coming in. Sprinkled ship in queue. MarineLorD doesn't have too many ships in queue. He is getting double VortiX in though. And VortiX, he's got a good equal, a double dock now getting dropped there.
Why? And see, I feel like if he had dropped those earlier, this play would have been fine. He could have just dropped all the fishing boats
there
inside.
earlier. I guess the archer ship was there, and he didn't want to drop it when the archer ship was around. Splits up the ship. One ship is going to go down at least.
Only ends up losing one. Oh, the dodges!
There we go. None of that. None of that.
All right, has his own sprinkled ship out to try to take down the transport, but those things are so tanky. It's just such a bait.
Sometimes something that we don't see too often is just having a front line of transport ships during fights.
Yeah, it would make it to where like you just have to micro nonstop. Second fishing boat does end up falling.
You can also body block against demo ships with them.
Ooh.
Oh, speaking of which,
demo?
He's sitting right on that. He doesn't want to explode right now because it's still like full health. And
just one more
ship. All right, one more. Now it's time. Oh no! Okay.
Oh my gosh! The micro, the fishing boat healed.
Oh my god! The arch ship just didn't do nearly enough damage there. Oh my god. That was like an inch.
Still, it feels like VortiX, like he was basically winning that southern side, and then we look up to the north, and it's like, oh wait, he's winning the north too. So he's just kind of winning on all accounts.
Is he though? I think MarineLorD just hasn't started contesting that yet. Like he's got 3 sprinkled ships. VortiX though, is this a? This feels a little bit like a repeat. We're seeing a lot of demo ships there right now.
we know the Spanish bros. They're all about their demos, but Northern Dock, it's on fire already. And I mean, VortiX getting a dock pickup in the north is huge.
It's going to deny a lot of vision. 2 archer ships, so 4 sprinkled ships. And yeah, MarineLorD, he's wise to the idea of the Spaniards making a lot of demo ships. He's queuing up another archer ship behind this. He does not want to get caught lacking when it comes to the archer ship count. Oh, man the sails.
Demos. Oh,
not quite getting connection there.
Yep, good takedown by MarineLorD. Loses 1 archer ship, but picks up the 2 demos. And one of the sprinkled ships for VortiX is super low, needs to head on home as fast as possible.
Yeah, might get taken down on the way back though. We'll have to be careful. Man the sails. Still on cooldown for MarineLorD though. They won't be able to catch up quite yet, but there's demo ships in queue, and MarineLorD knows that he can't push it much further in because of that looming threat of the demo ships just popping out right then and there.
It's so hard to push up on these water maps, especially when it's these smaller channels and you have to pass right by a dock. It's like demos can pop out at any point, and then you can just lose all your sprinkled ships so fast.
I like to play from MarineLorD, actually using the sabotage ability on a wall segment to get it burning down.
Yeah, it does end up getting that wall down much quicker. Allowing himself a little bit of a hole in the southern side.
That one sprinkled ship is so low health. It needs to get repaired soon. you can't afford going below 4 sprinkle ships in these engagements because you also always need 4 sprinkle ships to one-shot an archer ship.
VortiX getting another sprinkle chip in queue. Same thing for MarineLorD. And how is the eco on the outside looking? I think Marine. Yeah, okay, I was about to say MarineLorD bringing a couple more vills over to the outside. VortiX still has those original ones from the growth wing.
The base from VortiX reminds me of one of those Empire Wars bases right now that he has built up with the houses surrounding the House of Wisdom there. Emplacement has come in on the dock from MarineLorD there. Looks like we might have our first bigger-ish kind of engagement there now.
Yeah, 6 demos ready and waiting for VortiX, though. They're in vision. Doesn't want to use it to destroy the dock, because then he knows that his fleet would get wiped.
Oh, looks like he wants to commit.
Huh?
Is that a good idea, though? I'm not so sure. Uses
all right.
The ships. There we
Two
go.
of the demos go on the dock. Dock gets destroyed.
Now he gets left over.
Yep, now he has that kind of defender's advantage with his own dock with healing and just proximity to reinforcements here.
Bit of back and forth between the two. Some healing also coming in with that dock that he has nearby. For VortiX. And the
starting to move forward.
Getting picked off though. No
all of them
connections.
sniped out.
Very little damage done.
And MarineLorD laughs his way home.
Oh, the first chop through. Outpost getting rushed
Oh
out
my
by
gosh.
VortiX.
That was next
quick.
to the TC.
Yeah,
Who's getting shot by the TC?
Doesn't have vision on the villagers yet, though.
That's going to be close, though.
Yeah.
And immediately getting arrow slits. And he's back on that wood line.
It's going to get chopped through. And yeah, with the arrow slits, that's immediately going to be very annoying here.
Very favorable for Oh, and MarineLorD realizes it. Going ahead, getting his own as we speak. Still no vision, though. Fight still going down on that southern side.
VortiX, he's a little bit behind when it comes to the numbers there. And MarineLorD on the outer ring, he's making horsemen. He wants to snipe villagers on the main island, on the outer island.
Yeah, has a scout, has the vision of it. Demos, good little dodge there. Oh, but then they get destroyed the second time. MarineLorD closing the gap. Demo isn't able to connect.
Now the first couple of horsemen are coming out there for MarineLorD. And even though VortiX has the eco lead, it doesn't actually feel like he's leading that far in the economy overall. Looking at the income.
He ends up dropping an outpost on the outside, not a barracks, not, any sort of military production building. So 2 horsemen arriving, not quite enough to like fully tank up an outpost, but will cause some idle time, cause some annoyance.
Yeah, not to forget, the outpost there also has the +5 fire armor. So horsemen really not going to do a lot of damage to that. Another arrow slits in placement.
Well,
Naval placement is coming in from MarineLorD.
Is that Castle Age?
It is. We're getting the advancement wing in for Castle Age.
So that's where you said, hey, it doesn't really feel like VortiX has the eco lead, and it's like, that's why he's saving up resources going in for Castle Age. Finally, we see the full chop through. Arrow slits outpost, able to do some more damage.
Oh,
MarineLorD stepping up. He has vision of the House of Wisdom with the horsemen. Not sure if he saw the age up. More villagers made the escape across, and VortiX is having to head home closer to his TC, sacrificing that dock in the south. He spent a lot of resources on this age up and now needs to wait for it to pay off.
Where did VortiX's villagers on Woodline go? Did he just... I think he might have misclicked some villagers because he pulled all of his villagers away from the wood line. Yeah, now they're back. They were all gone. I think they all went towards the transport ship.
Ooh. Could have had a little bit of a misclick. That's a ton of idle time as far as the wood income goes. And look at the difference. You can see 900 wood per minute, and VortiX's has dropped under 300.
MarineLorD, he sees the age up. He's ready to commit. 10 demo ships. VortiX.
Age up. Age up finishes, though.
Second. Does he have enough time, though? He's getting the Springled upgrade for his ships. So +1 range on the Springled ships, and as well more attack speed. Is it going to be enough, though? There's also demolition ships coming in from the other sides. VortiX spots it out, though. Don't think he has enough to really divert his attention too much. Outpost is shooting across the wood line. Many more demo ships coming in from MarineLorD here behind this. Oh, this could be dangerous. This could be very dangerous. VortiX, he's running away. He needs to buy more time for his Castle Age upgrades to come in. Springled upgrade is coming in.
Oh my god, all the fishing!
Fishing ships are getting ignored.
The demo flank! Oh, one connection, one huge connection, but demos pop out for VortiX, get sniped out immediately by MarineLorD. Great micro from MarineLorD, just still continuing to snipe out all those demos popping out.
Demolition ships coming out. MarineLorD has to be really, really careful here. He still has so many more demos remaining. So many Springled ships as well remaining. VortiX, though, in theory, has the tools out to start sniping out the Archer ships. That's a lot of damage on those Springled ships there. A lot of them are going down. VortiX, does he have enough in order to hold this?
MarineLorD, though, next battalion of ships coming across, tons more demos.
Yeah, the fishing ships have to retreat. One single Archer ship, forcing all of them back. VortiX able to hold.
It looks like he is holding indeed. Fishing boats just being a frontline tank. Yeah, he might lose a couple fishing boats. It'll be fine in the meantime.
I mean, he's got
villagers heading over to gold for MarineLorD. MarineLorD trying to get to castle.
Yeah, Castle Age should be coming in soon. Only needs a little bit more gold now. But still, he's going up to Castle Age with barely a fleet standing. VortiX behind us still has a good amount of Springled ships.
Armored hull finally coming in.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the most important upgrades here. That was a crazy hold from VortiX behind us.
I mean, the Spanish bros are so crazy when it comes to these hybrids, when it comes to water maps. I have no idea how they hold.
Oh, the main eco from VortiX. No, my God.
Well,
oh my God.
That changes things.
Slightly. We gotta wait a little bit. Capture Age takes a while in order to process these huge changes in economy. Oh, it's ticking down. I think it should tick down a little bit further, but yeah, that's a massive eco lead right now for MarineLorD.
Yeah, it kind of puts VortiX on a time clock in a sense. MarineLorD relocated to the southern side of the main island. They still have outposts kind of firing at each other.
Demo ship holding on. Now getting taken down. VortiX still has the overall tech lead here right now, but that's a lot of demo ships, and he has to back off that. Still has some Archer ships. They're trying to take down demo ships. But he's up against the wall, against the cliff, and two ships will go down. He needs to make the sacrifice there.
Yeah, this is just where those close channels make it so difficult to get away from the demos. Didn't quite have enough Archer ships to snipe down that many demos in time, and MarineLorD actually was spreading his out rather than, you know, keeping them all grouped up together. Looks like there was a little bit more outpost fire coming in from those middle outposts, so just a little bit more Vil damage as expected, and holy fishing boats.
Yeah, behind this now, MarineLorD starting to get more of a land military going as well. VortiX invested into a single cam lancer, now getting up some more walls.
I feel like what VortiX really needs is to deny some of MarineLorD's fishing.
We're getting a siege workshop in for MarineLorD. I feel like, yeah, this is probably just going to be a single trebuchet on land to start getting rid of all the outposts there. And you can finally get all the wood in once again. At the very least, VortiX doesn't have his House of Wisdom on the Mail Island, because then that trebuchet would not just take down the outposts, but also the landmarks.
Exactly. Doesn't quite have as much to worry about. VortiX walled off his land eco as well, but MarineLorD is starting to press forward again on the water.
Ooh, Doc will get taken down. One demo makes it out, will get taken down immediately as well. One Camel Lancer.
Camel
Finds the
Lancer.
villagers on gold. That's a lot of idle time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if MarineLorD really has anything there to be able to defend up. Might have to kind of rush down. I see Mounted Samurai. I just don't know where they are.
They went over to VortiX's side, but yeah, they're not there right now. They're not where they're needed. And behind this, VortiX actually was able to catch up in the villager count, in the eco count overall again. Still lacking behind overall when it comes to numbers out on the field, but at least the economy is even again.
Yeah, and so much of MarineLorD's economy is in the south, in the west, just in the fishing. I feel like VortiX has a little bit more as far as the villager eco goes.
More demo ships now for him as well. First Trebuchet is going to be in queue. And yeah, that one Camel Lancer taking down a lot of the villagers here.
Oh, Doc going down right next to an outpost.
Perry
Camel
running
Lancer.
around, shifting on the sides.
Camel Lancer getting cleared up. Outpost gonna get cleared up. Just uses a demo to finish on. Fishing has to pull on away. Archer ships are here. Should be able to clear that up fine. VortiX just explodes them a little early to get some damage rather than nothing.
Every little bit counts. You really want to keep the food low now that players start making military on land as well. Demo ships attacking a wall segment. Okay. That's 2 demo ships down for a wall segment that stayed up after it.
He needed the room for houses.
Pinto priests making their way across to get relics. One dervish out for VortiX. Don't think he's gotten too many relics in yet though with that, and fight is happening right now. I'm not sure if that's one that VortiX really wants to get some connections in. He does have the upgrade for his demo ships, increasing the radius of the explosion. It's not quite enough yet though.
Looks like he's getting phalanx. Is he about to make the big spearman swap? And that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, spearman is gonna be the play for him. Ram's also coming in from MarineLorD. He really wants to just do damage on the outer island. 5 villagers inside the transport ship. Transport ship kind of sitting on the front lines. Definitely doesn't want to remain there for long.
Well, VortiX is a little distracted with microing, but seems like he's outnumbered heavily in this water fight. There's just so many ships from MarineLorD. He's like double stacked, triple stacked on the water here. The 5 villagers inside that transport.
Oh man, for the most part, like with these kind of choke points-ish on water, it kind of feels like 300 again, but in the end, MarineLorD able to push through the channel now. More demos coming in. But behind all of that, like VortiX, he's also pop cap for the most part here. That's because that one trebuchet from MarineLorD has been sniping the buildings on the main island. VortiX, he's pushing in. Is that something that he wants to do right now?
I think he feels the pressure. It feels like he has to. There's not any real villagers defending the main island. Ram is on the main TC and trebbing down the main TC. He's about to lose production on the main island.
Yeah, and that is not really something that you can afford. Probably should pull at least 1 or 2 villagers to at least get rid of the Ram. Yeah, Trebuchet, in the end, is going to take that round sooner or later.
Spear numbers starting to climb up. Walls on the east side, the north, they didn't fully finish.
Oh my god, yeah, around the wood line.
And that's over.
Suddenly
I mean, it's over there. That's all his gold bills.
It is, and he needs that for the demos. In theory, he does have a lot of gold actually banked up. Could get 10 demos out right now. Villagers do react, are getting pulled back, but that's a lot of dead economy over there for VortiX. Main TC is also going to go down. Military at the same time on water starts to get harassed, and it's a lot of things at the same time. Spearman now there to repel the knights. Is it gonna be enough though? Because MarineLorD, he's relentless in this push now. And with the Rams, he can also start cleaning up the docks.
Yeah, I mean, not only it's the docks, it's everything on the main island. So MarineLorD has water free and clear now, and VortiX is basically in the little corner to himself, but there's still mounted samurai circling in the corner, so losing more and more eco.
More and more of these buildings do go down. VortiX doing a good job of rebuilding those houses on the main island, but the Knights, they're still running around the spearmen, just not quite fast enough, and villagers do pay the price for that. Lots of economy has gone down once again. VortiX now 9 economy behind.
Yeah, MarineLorD looking really, really clean, really crazy right now.
Still holding the ship lead. VortiX finally queuing up all the demolition ships worth of resources that he had in the bank. There's so much food in the bank as well. It could just be going up to like 30 spearmen and try and go for a land push now behind this. MarineLorD. He's been prepping normal samurai as well. So that's not going to be too effective now. And yeah, MarineLorD, he's just leading on both fronts now.
I mean, look at VortiX's economy count now. More mounted samurai raids on the land and more winnings on the water, and no ability to produce any more villagers. This is going to start hurting as time continues to go on, even more than it already is. And there it goes. MarineLorD takes game number 2.
For a 2-0 lead now in this best of 7, setting himself up for a good start in the set.
Yeah. I would say very clean game, but it wasn't clean by any means. That was very, very chaotic, back and forth. It always, I mean, it was one of those, like, you felt like he started to have a lead there, but at any point in time, VortiX could have hit a couple demos, could have really easily had that game turned upside down and had it easy.
Yeah.
That's not why we pick the chaotic maps, though. You know, that we don't want clean, we want down and dirty. And my oh my, even despite that, MarineLorD keeping that clean record, yet to drop a single game in this entire tournament, folks. And let's dissect those first 2 games, because one thing I'm starting to think about, Crackety, early days, Mongols as a counter to Byzantines was explored. I feel like it had limited success. Do you think something's drastically changed there, or what we've seen today from the Mongols in particular has been more of an outplay than a good matchup?
I think Mongols in general have been just performing really, really great against Byzantines for like most of the patches, I want to say. I don't really remember any time that Mongols have been feeling like, okay, there's nothing that they can do against the Byzantines. The outpost rush in general, just being able to delay that huge mass that Byzantines like to go for, and then also just being able, with the double production, get up their own really, really big army mass with a ton of archers. It really like kind of plays into the main weakness of Byzantines. Like, sure, they get all of those mercenaries out, but those mercenaries early on in the game are not something that you can really mass produce. There's a limit to that with the amount of berries that you have, and then you have to go for farm transition if you want to get more. And Mongols are just an excellent civ when it comes to really countering that out with their massive production, and then their ability to get a lot of value from harassing you and keeping you in your base.
I guess the issue there with the Merc side of things, Stabston, is, Keshix is off the table already, right? We've always seen this when you're up against the Civ that builds them by default. And if the Mongols do that trade, you feel bad about contesting, right? Because there is a cavalry threat and you're bringing out ranged, vulnerable units.
Yeah, and that's where we saw VortiX go with the Jav throwers, and it felt like he just couldn't climb high enough with the numbers, and he didn't want to build a range. He didn't want to build archers himself. He didn't build the stables. He was just all limited nigh as far as his own units that he was making that wasn't olive oil based, and that's where MarineLorD just took advantage of that and made the counter unit and kept making the counter unit, and VortiX didn't change.
Now, let's take a hindsight moment on that game number 2, Crackety, because I think looking back at that, it was a little bit weird to see not an advancement wing play on a water map, considering that is the grounded meta with the Ibids. Obviously, the hindsight logic is it was for the fast castle, but did you ever feel that castle age paid off? Because I feel like we have this taboo around water maps at the moment. Whoever shall go castle first shall forfeit the game.
It kind of depends in many situations. Like, I really like the play. I feel like it could have really worked out in this game as well. I think there were just a couple too many mistakes, maybe a little bit of lack of focus there when it comes to the outer side of the land there for VortiX. Like the timing that Castle Age came in was really good. VortiX was able to hold that push as well. Something that I really would have liked to see is at the end of the game, we saw VortiX having like 2,000 food in the bank and not just putting on the pressure against MarineLorD on his side. Like when he had the Spearman, MarineLorD didn't have anything at that point in time against Spearman. Like if the mass of Spearman just went over to the other side, I'm not sure if MarineLorD could have reproduced any other type of unit to deal with that in time. Overall, I really like the strategy of not going for that. Like if your opponent isn't able to immediately like get the most value out with their fast feudal age, with the fast attack ship, those 3 bonus villagers into the fast castle with the advancement wing really just sets you up for a tech advantage there.
Now, it's kind of making me wonder, is this just a case of MarineLorD unstoppable, Dabston, right? Like, we thought VortiX might have a shot here. We thought the practice might have paid off. The water maps might lean into them, but we've seen a mix of land and sea now, and MLorD is looking unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy hearing still that he hasn't dropped a game yet, and it's like not
You hear it in
one.
his voice, the typical French voice is just yelling at you. I've never lost a game. I'm incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to the way he plays. There's so many times in RTS games where you look away for 0.1 second and you lose the game because of a mangonel shot or because of a villager raid that you didn't see, whatever it may be. And he hasn't had one single giant mistake like that in any of his games yet.
Mr. Perfectionist. Let's see if he can keep it perfect. I got to say, seeing a Bassids and Roost on the horizon for 4 Lakes, there's maybe an opportunity here for VortiX, a possibly favorable Civ matchup. Maybe a situation where forcing the Japanese gives him an opening to get a point on the board. It's time to find out. Can VortiX penetrate the impenetrable? Can MarineLorD's non-stop win streak be crushed, at least with 1 game on the board for VortiX?
Here we go. Game number 3. Yeah, it's really the question, right? Can MarineLorD's head deflate here, at least some? Or will he be the first man to make it to Mars? We'll have to see. Roost, though, looking very, very good, especially on a map like 4 Lakes.
Yeah, I feel like this was really right when this map became created. It was like immediately Roos was the pick, the play all the time. I do remember back in the old days, I want to say Mista was the first to pick ABBA on it, and he was doing some culture wing stuff back in the OG days, but meta has developed a little bit since then. Still could see some crazy stuff coming out from MarineLorD though.
Yeah, exactly. Got a little Roos bounty counter in right now, so we do see VortiX already able to kill 2 of the deer packs here. MarineLorD also doing his due diligence and killing his own deer. A little bit of wildlife control going on here right now. But most crucially, VortiX does have enough bounty in order to be able to age up to the feudal age here.
Yep. And now every little bit of extra bounty is just some nicer bit of gold that he'll have for himself. I'm a huge proponent of just having enough gold for double VortiX right as you age up. It can really just propel your wood economy, especially when everything you're doing is very, very wood focused.
Yeah, I don't think like Roos typically they have that really big advantage with like their fast feudal age where they can just immediately have an attack ship on your side with the transformation. But having all of these different pawns here means that that's not really an option. So instead, players typically tend to just use the fact that Roos fishing ships are just a lot more efficient and go for more of an economically focused play, where they, for example, just go for Castle Age, go for relics, or use the high trade house and get some really, really good passive gold income, and then just play it out passively to Castle Age with a big push.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy how many different ways Roos can play, but in every single way, it's like they're kind of just strong. They're hard to pressure. They got good wood economy, and more importantly, their fishing has just always been the best.
Yeah.
Good amount of sheep being circled around for MarineLorD, but being ABBA and it being 4 Lakes, sheep isn't too big of a importance here, unless you're losing water.
Pretty much behind this then. VortiX not quite having enough gold yet for that double VortiX upgrade. If he gets the age up in, he's getting a good amount of fishing ships in though. And for Roos, it always takes such a long time to get those fishing ships in, but once you have them out, they're just super, super efficient. Especially on a map like this, where some of the deep sea fish are very far away from the shoreline. So having those Roos ship, that Roos teleportation technology in, where they just beam all the fish over to your dock, just means that the efficiency is absolutely through the roof. And here we go, age up is coming in. No surprise, gonna be the Kremlin. Nice and forward. Is going to provide VortiX with a lot of line of sight as well, where pretty much the entire mid-map there.
Yeah, a lot of safety, a lot of vision there. I heard KP, I think, say it earlier, where it's basically a castle age landmark. And Culture Wing is the choice from MarineLorD as well. So we'll be about 1 minute and 35 seconds until his age up comes through.
Yeah, Culture Wing also enabling him to get his next age up quite a bit cheaper, as well as all the other upgrades. Makes a lot of sense here. Another option could have been Military Wing and just try to get a ram going. With that, you stop growth on water. What you don't stop is the existing fishing, though, because Roos obviously don't have to drop off. So Culture Wing definitely makes a lot of sense here for the Abbasid.
Yep. MarineLorD getting to the point where he's going ahead, dropping the second dock on his pond will make that fishing a little bit more efficient when he moves over to the next deep sea fish. And there is the wolf that VortiX needed for double VortiX, if he so desires. And MarineLorD has done a great job of counteracting a few of the other wolves throughout the map. I think I've seen him kill 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of bounty denial going on. Second dock coming in for MarineLorD also provides him with a lot of line of sight over that side of the pond. So far, I don't see any villager from VortiX moving out, trying to get like any sneak dock action going on. Instead, I think VortiX probably should start thinking about docking his second pond as well. Just get that going. Roos scales phenomenally on water, which is why you definitely want to have like that additional income from 2 ponds.
I think
Actually getting a stable in now for some gold harass probably. We do see the scout already sitting next to the gold mine from VortiX.
I was about to say VortiX is thinking fast castle here, but maybe it's just getting into that night play and getting into some more harassment here first.
I think it's probably both, just trying to get 1 or 2 knights out, harassing a little bit on the gold. And then behind that, just going up to the next stage, and we do see MarineLorD not reacting with units, but reacting with his own outpost. So I believe he also expects us just to be like a fast castle-ish play.
The thing about the outpost when it comes to knights is you still get idled out quite a bit, especially when it comes to this pro level. They'll just constantly bounce in and out of that range and make sure you're respecting that knight.
Seeing how the economy, how the resources are piling up, though, definitely makes us feel like VortiX behind this is just going to go for his own fast castle age. MarineLorD already got his Culture Wing age upgrade in, so age ups will be quite cheap for him. And Knight is now going to make its way across.
Yeah, and MarineLorD just now getting those fishing boats out on that southern side pond, so still continuing his fish boom on up, whereas VortiX is kind of started to chill out on the fishing a little bit, and VortiX actually going with a horseman as well. There's that idle time I was talking about.
Shield. Yeah, and now also investing into barracks, so definitely doesn't want to get idle that much. Barracks also helping him later on, because cavalry is something that the Roos do like to make. More idle time coming in. And we're also making sure not to focus the scout there. You really want to get that knight down as soon as possible. High trade house now coming in for VortiX. MarineLorD not even clicked up his own age up yet. Invested into a couple of spearmen. Just further going to delay that age up now.
Yeah, and this is really nice for the Roos. Just once the high trade house finishes, you immediately start getting that gold trickle. Then I'd expect, some warrior monks to be starting to move out and about rather quickly, and relic control is so huge when it comes to 4 lakes.
Yeah, a couple of spearmen. And it looks like VortiX actually canceled the horseman there. Knight just still being annoying there. Might get another villager. Nope. And the outpost should now be able to take that knight down.
Night calls
Triple bet. Okay, that's an all in.
Oh, it's a Men-at-Arms all in. Timing. I mean, it's VortiX. It's a timing attack.
Yeah, makes sense, right? Military wing just been clicked.
Minute 40. Like it or not, you gotta
And
wait.
he immediately pulls militia as well.
Militia, Men-at-Arms on the way. We are wanting to see some damage here.
Scout sees only the militia. I don't think he scouted the barracks yet. As Men-at-Arms are gonna be on their way, and yeah, can we quickly switch the graph over to villagers on resource? Because I think he, like with the building of the high trade house, I think he put all of his villagers over on deer, so there should be a lot of food income coming in now. Actually still has a good amount of villagers over on wood.
The Men-at-Arms do get spotted out though, and what is MarineLorD's reaction? He's still idled off of the gold. I want to see what he's doing in the south side. Is he dropping a bunch of rangers?
Castle Age militia do a good job against feudal age spears. And now the Men-at-Arms arrive.
Yeah, so even though MarineLorD, he's going to hit up to Castle Age here in 30 seconds, he's not going to have any gold with that Castle Age.
Yeah, has enough for one Golem, is it? And one crossbow. Has to move out onto some other gold, maybe drop a market. What he will get with the age up is 2 Camel Riders. Camel Riders not too bad against melee units that don't do bonus damage to them, but not that great either. They have a lot of health, they attack really quickly, but they don't start off with any additional melee armor.
Oh, and this is what VortiX needs to do. Just run across, find the eco. He didn't see any villagers on the gold, so he's like, why am I here? Let me go find some eco. And there it is, villagers on the south side onto the wood line, building some ranges, so getting some delay there and getting a ton of idle time now.
That's a lot of Men-at-Arms out already. Only 3 crossbows in queue, 1 Golem as well. It's not going to be enough for MarineLorD to really hold this. At least he's getting more income, more food income with his fishing.
Oh, Camel Rider got taken down.
First crossbow has come out.
He doesn't have anywhere for the villagers to go. A couple of the Men-at-Arms split off to go after that crossbow, and then the other sets of Men-at-Arms are kind of going right towards where the villagers are headed to. This isn't looking too hot for MarineLorD. He's rattled over here. Villagers don't know where to go. There's no safety. This timing attack from VortiX is looking to pay off at a quick wall coming down.
Oh, is it though?
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
It's not a quick wall.
And the Men-at-Arms are in. Villagers going down. Still more and more Men-at-Arms making their way across. +1 pierce armor only, +1 melee damage in as well. And still, the Men-at-Arms keep flooding in. Militia once again getting called. 4 additional militia making their way across.
VortiX is getting relics behind this, as it looks like he is bringing the first one back, about to pick up the second one. Trying to split up his groupings, get onto the crossbows, make sure that mass doesn't climb up into some double-digit numbers and make it easy to pick his units. And there he is. He's on the wood line again, too.
Still, Men-at-Arms coming in now with the militia. The militia actually deal a lot of melee damage now that they're upgraded to Castle Age. And they have more movement speed, a lot more movement speed than those Men-at-Arms. So they're actually able to catch up to those crossbows and take them down.
VortiX has to know that MarineLorD's getting gold from somewhere, or maybe he thinks he's just trading off the food from the market, but MarineLorD has found that southern side gold.
Some atrocious melee pathing, and feels like VortiX doesn't now have enough Men-at-Arms to keep pushing this in. MarineLorD, the crossbow count has been climbing and climbing and climbing steadily. Behind this, at least, VortiX has gotten a lot of the relics, and now we're seeing horsemen coming in. This could be the 2-point upgrade now, the technology switch that helps him get rid of those crossbows.
Yeah, need those horsemen to come in quickly, though. Needs to just fall back away with the Men-at-Arms, not lose them to this crossbow mass. And he has secured up 4 relics for himself. We see MarineLorD has... Oh, actually, are we going to see the 5th relic for VortiX? He's headed there right now. There's a Camel Rider on it. There's no way.
The Camel Rider, how much health does he have remaining? That one has been like one of the starting Camel Riders, right? So I think he might be battered a little bit. And the crossbows are a little bit out of position. Doesn't have actually have, he gets
the Camel Rider. And at the very least, he's repositioning this relic where it's way harder to get from. And MarineLorD runs away. He gets distracted.
Oh my god, he's getting
fifth
that relic. That's the 5th relic.
And VortiX split off that Men-at-Arms mass to cancel out the reinforcing units from MarineLorD, made sure no more crossbows were able to get grouped back up. And that's a huge win for VortiX.
MarineLorD, he keeps massing up those golems, and VortiX, he's gonna need a significant amount of horsemen to be able to push past that. The issue is that MarineLorD, in theory, he can just sit in space, hide behind choke points, and that's gonna make it very, very difficult for those horsemen to get onto the crossbows.
Well, here we go with that horseman mass. Horseman's about to be into those double digits. Still has the Men-at-Arms being that front line, be able to kind of, I guess, go against the Ghulams. Militia called again. I think VortiX wants to take this fight here in just a little bit.
Yeah, should be. There we go. Horseman coming in as well. MarineLorD spots that out now. And immediately queues up Spearmen. Ghulams turning around. Horseman diving past them.
Oh, really good movement speed there by VortiX, just getting right around, circling around, making sure that the horseman pathing isn't going to prove to be a problem, getting all the attacks down, and that crossbow mass just got obliterated.
Oh, just one attack, 4 crossbows fall immediately, and now the Men-at-Arms dive through, and GG gets called. MarineLorD knows that after this fight, he will not have what it takes to hold that, and VortiX gets a point on the board.
And there we go. I mean, VortiX, known for his timing attacks, known for his aggression, and that is exactly what he does here. Doesn't matter about that eco count. A lot of it was that fishing on the water, and problem with that Abbasid fishing is it's not quite as efficient as Roos, and you have to go further out on 4 lakes on some of those spots. So the difference is surely made up by VortiX's efficiency and the relics.
Yeah, and this marks the first loss of MarineLorD in this entire tournament. So there we go, no longer undefeated. VortiX takes a game off the chimp.
Unbelievable. So 2-1 for MarineLorD. And now for game number 4, we're going into a water map, which VortiX is known for, but it's Order of the Dragons versus English.
That's gonna be an interesting one, right? Like, sure, HRE is banned for both of these players, but what else is there than HRE? You got HRE, I want to say HRE No Sugar Edition. It's basically the same. It's just different things that make it sweet.
Yeah, it exactly that, and they're definitely, I would say, one of the favorable picks when it comes to Archipelago. They've definitely seen their just solidness, their extra economy with the way that the stronger villagers go, the chapel as well, and so that's where. Do you think that they have the leg up here when it comes to this full water map?
I think OTD does quite well there in Archipelago. We've seen it time and time again. Just OTD performing really, really good on these full water maps. English, on the other hand side, if we get to like a longer-ish feudal age game between them, having the Admiralty upgrade for the English with the +1 range to all of your ships can be absolutely crucial. Like, you can't really get great demo ship connections because the bonus range on the archer ships as well just means that it is so easy for the English to snipe out your demo ships.
I mean, are you saying that we're not going to see as many demo ships as we saw?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying VortiX is still Lucifron's brother, okay?
Plus or minus 600?
638 demolition ships in that game.
I mean, I doubt that we will see the game go that long. I would say this one will be more in line with the 12 to 15 minute ones, but you never know. You never end up knowing. We've seen a lot of good ones, and that's where even still it's. I mean, VortiX is known for the micro on the water. We've seen both the Spanish bros hold so many pushes, but enough of that. Let's get into this next game.
All right, game number 4, MarineLorD leading 2-1 so far. Can VortiX even up the series and maybe set himself up for a little bit of a turnaround now in this one? Archipelago, and this is one of those archipelago generations where both players are really, really close to each other. No shallow waters in between them as well, so no hiding behind shallow waters here. Should make for a relatively quick one in theory, just when it comes to the map spawn here.
Yeah, there's no real easy spots for you to like kind of hide out back and you know, grab some safe fishing, maybe all the way for the west for VortiX, but even still wouldn't expect that to happen. I expect both of these players to very quickly find their opponent, get some military ships on over, and who is going to win those early fights is going to be the difference maker.
Exactly. Order of the Dragons here. I mean, they surprised me a little bit just by how good they actually turned out to be on water maps, I want to say. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? Like, we see the scout deletion once again. It makes a lot of sense in theory, because the one weakness of HRE is they got that like big timing at the beginning. They got the Archon Chapel in, and then they're going to be able to pump out ships for the next like 5, 6, 7 minutes. Then they suddenly chop through the forest. Suddenly no wood is in the Archon Chapel radius anymore, and then you have to rely on prelates. Meanwhile, the Order of the Dragon, they got that plus 28% gather speed all the time, and additional plus 15% in the Archon Chapel. But once they get past that Archon Chapel, they can still be happy about having that plus 28%.
Yeah, they will not have any complaints. They are a little bit beefier, a little bit just stronger over there. But now we're seeing English villagers, the English base. We're going to see Lumber Camp probably dropped in the near-ish future for both of these players after those initial straggler trees get chopped and gathered on out.
MarineLorD might just want to wait. I say that and then he plays it. Might just want to wait until he gets the Archon in. But nah, it's just going to place it now. It's going to be a while until the Archon comes in, like an additional 2 minutes from now. So it makes sense to have that bonus efficiency with the Lumber Camp for now, when you can afford without having any downtime on your dock. So far, it looks like VortiX even fishing ship count so far. English, they do have that slight economic advantage, right? Where it's not quite on the level of Japan, but they do save up a lot of wood, a lot of general resource, not just on fishing ships, but of all the ships that they build. So while they don't have any straight up eco advantages on water, they do get a pretty nice discount, 10% on all ships that they build.
Yep. Does allow themselves that bit of a bonus, as you see 67, 90 there. And this is one of those maps, though, that I could say if you aren't, where you send, most of the time you'll see a player send one fishing boat out, try to get some scouting, find where your opponent is. And this is one of those that if you don't, you can really cost yourself if you send that first military ship the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. The timing there can be really, really important. Looks like the age of timing, though, for both these players should be fairly similar-ish, I want to say. VortiX, 2 more drop-offs in gold, then he has enough resources. Same-ish for MarineLorD, should be 1 more drop-off now. There might be a slight lead here when it comes to the age of timing for MarineLorD.
Transport ship the king on across?
Could be.
No.
Actually, not even kidding. You could do that, right?
I mean, it would 100% force a huge reaction, and the units for Order of the Dragon are so costly. So for him to actually spend resources on not only a barracks but also a spearman after would be quite costly. But I don't know if we'll end up seeing that. I would love to see it too.
Look at the gold, right?
I mean, with God Vision here, it makes perfect sense.
I think that's the reason. I think that's literally the reason why VortiX didn't delete his scout.
All right, well, we'll see it here. Abbey is on the way up. 7 villagers on it, so it's coming in pretty quick. MarineLorD has 7 villagers on his chapel, though, so his age up going to be coming through just a bit quicker.
It is. Yeah, having that Abbey of Kings close to the water, it's quite nice. I think a dock heals for like 2 health per second. Meanwhile, the Abbey of Kings, while out of combat, heals for a whopping 6 health per second. So if you get any weak ships, you just put them right next to it. Suddenly, they're just going to be repaired at like light speed.
All right, so let's see if we
ship out
transfer
to scout. Yeah,
King's on the
look at
way.
that. Look at the waypoint. It is. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what's
let's
gonna be.
ride.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, it'll force a big reaction here. The key is when will VortiX find? I mean, does VortiX already know which island that MarineLorD's on?
I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see where he sends the ship over to. But the first
He
attack
has
ship is
no
out
idea.
already.
So
He
this
does
is the
not know
problem.
anything.
This is the problem that I'm talking about here. Like, if you knew it was this close, he could just, it would take 10 seconds. He'd be on that island being able to run across, but he has no earthly idea. Oh, but that gives him some idea now as he knows where the attack ship came from. Transport ship should try to just head that way as well.
Yeah, and he's
Oh.
gonna be able to tell now.
Finds the island. Finds the dock.
Yeah, now he's got confirmation.
Oh. And he's
now
going to circle
the other
around.
way.
Oh, this
yeah,
is so high.
that's so good. That is so good. MarineLorD has no clue. Can we check? Does MarineLorD have like a barracks, or does he have anything prepped for this? He
No.
doesn't. He's clueless to this happening.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Admiralty is
no.
also coming in already for VortiX.
That's a
That is
really
such a
quick
timing.
Admiralty.
Yeah. But can he push that? Can he pull that off? Because there's a lot of ships from MarineLorD already coming over.
I mean, here comes the king.
The king's there.
MarineLorD has
That's
to turn
mass
around, right?
repair. That is so much repair actually on that ship. But yeah, the gold mine has
And
to
there's
get
a springle
evacuated.
chip.
And he does have Admiralty.
Oh, and the demo gets popped. Mass repair again.
Actually able to out repair.
He's out repairing it.
But it's so much wood. He's gonna go into the negative with that.
But he has another ship come out. He's got his next springle chip. He just turns
my
around now.
God. Oh my god. King is very low health right now as well. He's just gonna get healed up. But the investment that MarineLorD has to do behind this, into the barracks, into the spearmen.
Spearman's in queue.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big investment for MarineLorD, just to be safe there. And doesn't even
Alright.
guarantee that he's gonna be safe, because in theory, like, with enough micro, you can just whittle that spearman down. But nah, okay, that's gonna be 2. Then it's gonna be really tough.
Yeah,
It's
and
kind of absurd when you look at the spearmen from Order of the Dragon and you check out how much bonus damage they
I was
do.
about to say, it's like plus like 68 bonus damage or something. It's like
It is
astronomical.
Yeah. Double VortiX now coming
Oh,
in.
where
for
is the
VortiX.
spearman now?
Oh, there he is. And we can tell plus 40. Wait, but is that feudal age spearman or dark age spearman? It is feudal age. Okay. So it's like 52 damage. That's quite a bit. 50 damage per hit against the king.
That being
Wow.
said, VortiX though, he's got, remember, I mean, he has that extra upgrade now though, so he can
Yeah.
always kind of take these more efficient fights.
Just needs to pay
Right there, you
close
see it.
attention. Yeah, it's just the turnaround. We got a little bit of the spin to win going on. King does go down. Scout does go down. Wait, no, he's still alive. But he's not gonna be alive for long. Oh, he's gotta give him the ring around the rosy there. Just gonna keep being annoying. Yeah, that's so worth it. That is so
MarineLorD
worth
though,
it.
he's starting to build up these demos in secret. VortiX just comes, takes out a fishing boat, takes out another fishing boat, and then just walks away. He just knows it. He's like,
so
all right.
filthy. The bonus rate is so filthy here.
And he's
That's a
just
lot of
gonna do the
demos.
same. Again, take some free shots in. Oh,
Has to be careful, though.
now we're getting a little bit closer here. Demos get shot
There
though.
isn't gonna be enough.
Oh,
No man the sails. Oh,
all
gets
the
pulled down.
demos get taken out, but he loses his own fishing boat. MarineLorD turning for the fight. Demo pops out. Good micro by MarineLorD.
Yeah, manages to get them down. Lots of Springer ships, not a lot of archer ships right now out for VortiX. None at all, actually.
I mean, the benefit for him, as long as it's just a few demo ships at a time, he can just easily one-shot those with the extra range, but King back to
just
full
chilling.
health. Is he going to snipe down another fishing boat or two here?
Getting pulled in time.
Oh, he's actually starting to do oh, there's a Springle chip taken down. This is starting to get troublesome for MarineLorD. as numbers are very healthy for VortiX, but there's the demo mass.
Oh, the ships are slowing down. That's gonna be 2 Springle ships down. Archer ship will go down as well.
Good dodge by MarineLorD, but not able to close the gap enough. And again, great micro by VortiX as well.
And it's back and forth. Archer ship gets sniped. And Admiralty really makes a huge difference here in this game during all of these encounters so far. Because it's always MarineLorD. Like, he needs to really go forward to get any connections in. Ah! One makes it through! Big connection! 2 Springle ships go down, only 1 remaining! Oh, this is really tough now for MarineLorD. He's even pulled in some of these sides in order to, like, kind of restrict the King's movement. And now the mass demo ship's coming in for VortiX. He wants to build up the numbers.
He's ready to close the gap here. Trying to get back on the fishing again. MarineLorD has 6 demos.
It's kind of scary when you see so many demo ships at once just moving towards your Spriggle ships.
The problem is the range that VortiX has. It's just so hard for those demos to actually connect, even harder than any other Civ. And look at this, MarineLorD's getting stuck in a corner now next to his docks, and VortiX is like, fine, I'm cool with this. Closes the gap with 2 more Springle
ships. Without any Springle ships, he's not able to counter the Archer ships. Like, right now, VortiX, you can just go and pick off these
all
demo
the demos.
Ships.
Yep, and that's exactly what he's doing. Another Springle ship pops out, but it's only 1.
There we go, demo ships, tanking up some of these hits.
So much range on those Archer ships.
Oh, yeah, you have to be really careful. A couple of these Archer ships are also really low, but yeah, the demo ships just getting picked apart one by one. Another Archer ship goes down. And MarineLorD, he's up with his back against the wall right now.
Another demo goes down. MarineLorD is just starting to throw away resources. It feels like he has to invest into this water, though. There's nothing else you can do. You got to try to defend this up, but it feels like everything he's doing is just getting taken down immediately. Demos popping out, demos falling, Springled ships falling. He doesn't have much military left, and he is not left here. VortiX ties up the series 2-2. MarineLorD hasn't dropped a game and then drops back-to-back games to VortiX.
Man, you can't believe it. MarineLorD, after a quick 2-0 lead, suddenly finds himself in an equalized series. Now 2-2 between him and VortiX. And man, these games so far, they've been, if nothing else, absolutely action-packed.
That was non-stop back and forth, non-stop fighting. We had the King action go in. We had the little bit of early excitement go in. And still, we said 12 to 15 minutes was more in the expectations of the archipelago, not the 45-minute feudal age game we saw earlier.
And Chad already knows what's going on. Exactly, the redraft is coming in.
Yes, and what an interesting situation we find ourselves in now. It turns out Super Frenchman can actually bleed. And it's an interesting way that we find ourselves here, Dabston. I think it'd be fair to say those first 2 games, it's almost like MarineLorD got to play a bit more methodical. But the last 2 games was VortiX reminding us what he's renowned for most: aggression.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say methodical on moving out, but it kind of was methodical in the way that he played the game. It did, it was smooth, it was easy, it was chaotic, but it still was that type of game. But then you got to the 4 lakes, you got to Archipelago, and he definitely got put on the back foot and made the game quite a bit more difficult for himself. Ends up dropping 2 of the games he's had, and now we have the series tied going into game number 5.
We do. And just to quickly glaze over that Archipelago game a little bit more, Crackety, the Admiralty so early is so intriguing to me from VortiX. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like you mentioned it pre-game. This is a strat that you lean into 8, 9, 10 ships deep. He done it, was it 3 ships deep?
1 ship.
He
got one Archer ship out and then immediately went for it. It was super early.
Which is crazy, right? Like, I wonder if more people are going to follow on that, because I think the argument for a long time has been Admiralty is hard to justify because of how much economy and production you sacrifice. But I guess that's where that King came in.
Exactly. And
So,
the king just buying so much time there. Absolutely
yeah.
crucial.
Well, I done the maths. It's actually wild. So, by building a king and building a transport ship, you need to tech up anyway. This will blow your mind. You spend 90 wood to force a 520 resource investment out of your opponent, which covers the admiralty and then gives you some change, right? Which is wild to think about. I think we'll be seeing maybe a little bit more of English when Archipelago creeps up. But let's look forward now, because we have got the redraft, as we mentioned, and we've already started to line up the games. Hillendale is where we're going next. We've got a Roos Iron matchup. But before we dive into that, I want to dig a bit deeper into this draft, Abston. Zhuji made it through, and migration is on the menu.
Yeah, I mean, you asked earlier if HRE would make it through, and we were like, hey, you never know when it comes to the redraft. We still didn't expect Sushi to make it through, but it's HRE banned on both sides again, and Migration now has an easy civ choice for MarineLorD, but could also give VortiX, the option to try to counter it out. But the question is there actually a counter to it?
Like, what would that be, Crackly? I imagine like what, Mongols for migration?
Mongols migration could definitely be something you go for. I could also see Mali not being too bad. I mean, we've seen like the Mali kind of like transport ship shenanigans working out quite well in the past, so that's definitely an option here.
It's a big map to try for a transport cheese on, don't you think?
You transport over to the first map, you get a little bit of wood, and then you let
Build
the
a dock
ship
on the
sail
other
around,
side, or
and yeah, just go around.
just go around. It's that simple, guys. And like in between that, looking at Woodwall, does it feel like both players got something to function there, Dabston? I feel like Abbasids is considered one of the kings, but we've been seeing Malians. I don't know if they've dropped a single game on Woodwall here so far.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the matchup you would expect would be the Abbasids. They kind of lean into the wall up, kind of go into the trade in a sense, and then Mali, they can always lean into their passive resources. They can get to that point where they have too many resources coming in passively that just now turns into this massive military ball that you can't even deal with.
So now we can get to Hillendale, because I wanted to work backwards, anticipate where we're going, because we know what we've got up next. Roos versus Iobids. Crackety, we are on a fairly standard land map, I want to say, and I am looking at a Roos pick. Do the Iobids have a hope in hell?
Iobits, I mean, they do obviously have like their fast castle with economic and growth, which kind of puts them at an even villager count when the age up does come in. Um, After that, it's going to be a little bit difficult. It gives them a little bit of a leg up when it comes to the relic gathering game, but they have to, I feel like, go for additional TCs when they hit Castle Age. I don't think you can just straight up try and go for the all-in with Camel Lancers against a civilization that has both Gremlins and the Kremlin, and just overall a ton of defensive capabilities.
Definitely feels like a matchup where the Iobids are on the clock here, right, Dabston? Because late game to me sounds like a nightmare for VortiX.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that the VortiX, he's the timing player though. We saw it with the Roos against Abbasid on 4 Lake. So will he be able to use this same Ayubid's timing and do that exact thing? Maybe secure up an extra relic or two for himself. Maybe, have some sort of crazy different timing push that we don't expect there coming out. But I think that leaning into more of the macro game makes the tilt immediately go over into MarineLorD's favor.
I mean, maybe that's the method to the madness here, right, Crackety? Like with what we just lined up here, Malians, potentially for migration, or Mongols, and the other for Woodwall. Considering the matchup, it's probably going to be Abbasids. It feels like you got timing you have to hit there. Ibids versus Roos, a timing you have to hit there. Then, when we get into migration, you're up against Juji. You don't want to drag the game later. The question now is if Vortix's strategy, and it makes sense considering it got 2 wins, is very, very clean, succinct, aggressive timings. What's MarineLorD going to flip up? Because I feel like there's only so many times you can take this all-in approach before he wakes up and says, oh, I remember there was like a card somewhere where VortiX had an 11 out of 10 for that stat that I should probably be a little bit worried about.
Yeah, it's really tough, right? Like you can't play too greedy here as MarineLorD. You like something that we probably should be seeing a bit more of here will be walls. Like getting some nice early walls in, especially a map like Hillendale, definitely is something that you can go for. Yeah, I think MarineLorD definitely has to be wary of those timing pushes that could come in.
It's intriguing as well because I was doing some maths on this, and unless you're incredibly unlucky, Dabston, Hill and Dale tends to be more efficient for fast castles than Dry Arabia for Irobids, because on Dry Arabia, you have to do one outpost, sometimes two, whereas here, you just slap up some cheap walls and walk away.
Yeah, and depending the civ you're going against, sometimes you might not even have to deal with walls, might not even have to deal with outposts at all. You know, if your opponent goes no stables and goes immediately for a second TC himself, then you can kind of just not worry about it for that time, delay out that outpost or delay up the walls if you so desire. So kind of allows you some easy timings for VortiX, which again plays in that one kind of plays back into his hands.
I wonder if we even see some a little bit cheesy. I've noticed a few of the qualifier games featured roost picks on Hill and Dale that involved helping your opponent with their walling attempts, right? Just keep them on that high ground, take the relics away. But I think we're close to finding out. Reminder, folks, if you're just tuning in, we just watched VortiX do back-to-back games to break MarineLorD's unbeaten record. We now have an exciting one here. A closed map that should allow players to hunker down, but even though VortiX, that sounds like it's a more defensive approach than an aggressive approach, with a civ like Irobids, that's just a perk to get you to that all-in timing. This is to break the tie, to put one player on match point for a showdown with Beastie Cutie in a grand finals, on the verge, on the taste of it. Let's see who's going to get to the edge first. MarineLorD with the Roos, VortiX with those Camel Love and Irobids.
And here we go. VortiX spawning in this southwestern side in the color yellow as the Ayubids. MarineLorD in the northeastern side as the color, well, as the Roos in the color pink. And this is Hill and Dale.
All right, let's dive into that one. Interesting spawn here, straight off the bat for MarineLorD. Lots of resources forward. Has a wood line connecting to that cliff, so relatively easy to wall off. Yeah, this should be a forward Kremlin there for MarineLorD on his front gold. On the other side for VortiX. Also pretty decent spawn here for him. Does have the gold forward, but nothing that can't be defended with a couple of walls forward or an outpost. Overall, early game should be pretty uneventful, I want to say here. I don't think there's going to be like immediate aggression coming out from these players right now. There's just going to be that bounty game going on.
Yeah, VortiX very quickly able to secure up, obviously, the deer pack in his base, but also found the deer pack right on the outside of the walls very, very quickly. But at the same time, MarineLorD able to pick up not one wolf, but able to pick up a second wolf over from VortiX's side.
Gonna go for a bit of that bounty denial. Or rather, at least MarineLorD's gonna be able to get that bounty from the opposite side of the map. Finds even more wolves there. That's a lot of wolves already.
Yeah, and that's really one of these where you can already see the wheelbarrow in queue, and he does not feel bad about this by any means. He's on another wolf, and he's about to find yet another deer pack. So should easily be able to vault himself to that feudal age point that he needs, and won't even have to think twice about the wheelbarrow in queue and canceling it.
Yeah. Already on that second deer pack now as well with one of his scouts. So overall, yeah, looking pretty decent here for MarineLorD. Has to be careful though with his sheep. Probably will want to bring some sheep back now at this point in time. Hopefully won't get any idle time. Reinforcement wing coming in right now for VortiX. Oh, MarineLorD, he was missing one gold. Okay, but he killed another deer. Has enough gold to age up. That would have been really unfortunate. Imagine you're sitting at like 199 gold and you gotta wait for another hunting cabin there.
Oh, yeah. Does look like he had enough sheep to not idle himself out, or if he did, it wasn't too bad. And now dropping, looks like 10 sheep off at home, so we'll be good to go for quite some time. Kremlin next to the stone, next to the berries, next to the wood line. Safe and secure.
Yeah. 8 sheep so far for VortiX, meaning MarineLorD is probably sitting at like, 17-ish sheep? Quite a few sheep for him now, overall. Kremlin aging up with 6 villagers. Looks like it's just gonna be a typical 11 sheep. Okay, yeah. Ate a couple already. Should just be a 2TC build here from MarineLorD. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's always kind of my assumption, especially when it comes to one of the more boomy macro maps with Hill and Dale. Just expect that second TC. There was a time where the Roos was quick to drop 3 TCs on this map, but I would not be expecting it in this matchup.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. 3 TCs is always kind of like a recipe for disaster in many situations. Not just because you delay your own age ups, but also because it's just such a big constant investment in food. 3 TCs, that's 450 food per minute that you have to invest just to keep all of them running.
Yeah, there's so many times where you'll find you're like, oh my gosh, they have such a big villager lead, and it's like, yeah, but now they're running out of the food on the map, so it's like they're up the villagers, but now they're needing the farm transition, and then they find themselves delayed, and then it just allows your opponent to have such clean timings.
Hotkey.
Right. Stone coming in.
Why do you have an hotkey there?
Outpost
do I have
is being dropped for VortiX on that gold vein, so is making sure to protect it on up, even though it doesn't look like MarineLorD has anything aggressive coming to the other side yet.
Desert Raider moving over. Not that they'll get any real damage in there.
Yeah, with the Kremlin there's not really anywhere that the Desert Raiders can get to. Scouts trying to be annoying on the mining camp, but again, there's already an outpost there as well. VortiX even grabbed the extra stone needed for arrow slits and placement.
Yeah, arrow splits and placement is going to be coming in. One of the scouts will go down, Desert Raider. What the Desert Raider does here, quite nicely, is that it's going to be able to kind of keep MarineLorD on his toes when it comes to his TC locations. So see, he's not going to be able to put it on the deer, or at least not in a good position on the deer. Instead, has to go for the gold. Not a bad position here, but usually you do want to have the outpost securing your food income. In this situation, having it on the gold, though, also isn't too bad because you will want to age up rather quickly after building that second TC, so he will need the gold. And this just means that he won't have to invest into units straight away in order to get control over that gold area.
Yep. Speaking of aging up, VortiX not too far off from being able to click up. He is not able to fast build that. It's going to take a bit of time, but should have growth wing coming here in the near future.
Yeah, would be very surprising if it's just going to be advancement wing. There's not really a timing with the advancement wing, I want to say personally, but you never know. Maybe VortiX would disagree, but it looks like it's going to be economic wing row.
If it were dry Arabia, I might say, yeah, you could go with maybe
it's
some
a long
advancement
distance and the walls.
But yeah, with Illendale, with walls, it's just like if the walls finish and you walk to the other side, these aren't normal walls either. They're roost walls. So then you're just like, okay, I'm done.
Desert Raiders at least are gonna be able to deny those walls from coming up. MarineLorD though, already investing into some archers. So should be in a position to at least get those walls up. It's going to be very tough for VortiX to keep camping around there. Those walls, sooner or later, will go up.
Yep. Walls on the east side finishing up now. Not quite enough archers to step up to take the fight yet, but MarineLorD's not too far off. He's actually getting some eco upgrades, so making sure the second TC is going to get paid off as well. As long as he gets these walls up, this gives him a lot of time to secure himself.
4 archers should be in a position now to start retaking control over that front of his base. Want to get those walls up. VortiX trying to snipe out the archers. 4th archer wasn't quite there yet. Now joins the fray. And yeah, walls are gonna finish in time. VortiX behind the age up, also grabbing a couple of economic upgrades, wheelbarrow and double broadex.
Oh no, all the food is gone from the growth wing. From those berries, but it'll be okay. There's plenty other berries on the south side for VortiX to secure on up for himself. He's also got the deer if he so desires.
Yeah, lots of food opportunities there to be had for sure. Desert Raider, 3 Desert Raiders out still. So map control, sure, MarineLorD has the walls up now, but he doesn't immediately have any means of trying to like deny relics.
Scout gets denied, so a little bit of vision getting taken away. And MarineLorD, actually, the walls on the north side, I love it. He doesn't wall directly to the cliff. He walls around the wood line. That way he can grab the relic and berries if needed. But mainly, I would say the relic is fully secured for himself.
Yeah, making sure the opponent doesn't get that gives you at least a 4-1 relic game here. And now Age Up is going to be coming in for VortiX. We'll probably immediately drop a Mosque, double Camel Lancer in queue as well. Just start pumping up those numbers. Villagers moving out to stone as well, so we will see additional town centers coming in soon here.
Yeah, and there's the high trade house for MarineLorD. Villager count is dead even after that growth wing, so will not be too far off, but more importantly, he'll hopefully have the relic count for himself is the game plan here from VortiX.
First Dervish is now in queue. Something that's interesting about the Dervish, even though it's as fast as a warrior monk, and arguably with the AoE healing provides a lot of like similar value compared to the aura, it costs a lot less. It's only like 170 resources, I think. Only 120 gold. It's actually cheaper gold-wise than normal religious units.
Oof. Desert Raider was trying to take out that last scout of MarineLorD, but MarineLorD stepped up with a few archers, took down the Desert Raider.
Scout will stay alive. Age Up now completing. Crossbows immediately in queue. There's the Camel Lancer. Archers won't be able to step out for too long now. At the same time, with the archers there, VortiX doesn't really have the means of getting past those walls without the archers taking the units down.
Yeah,
But
this
he
is
does have the military wing, so could in theory immediately make siege with his camels.
Yeah, and this is really just giving him the breathing room to grab all 4 of the relics on the map too, though. He's not going to be able to get the one behind MarineLorD's wall, but every other one on the map does look like it's going to be VortiX's.
Yeah. Second TC should be coming in for VortiX any moment now as well. Will be on the deer inside of his base. So while he doesn't have the villager advantage right now, he should have the relic advantage, and the scaling should be relatively even between them once that second TC will go up. Monastery only just now coming in for MarineLorD, and he will have to pay full price for those warrior monks. So that's going to be 240 resources for each of them.
More and more infantry units coming out for MarineLorD, so kind of more the immobile, slower army for MarineLorD, which is fine. He's got the walls, he's got the protection. Meanwhile, VortiX, he's got the mobile units and the map control.
Exactly. First 2 relics on the map have been grabbed now by VortiX.
Only one left for him is right next to his base.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of passive gold income. Can we take a look at the high trade house? I think it's probably like 130-ish gold, and then yeah, it's usually like 1.5 relics worth, and it's going to be 128.
So almost a couple. We'll call it 1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
VortiX running into those walls in the north side, realizes there's nowhere into MarineLorD's base, and more barracks coming down for MarineLorD. He is going into men-at-arms.
I mean, makes a lot of sense, right? Like VortiX, he's now going into archers. That's usually like one of the main units that the Spanish brothers like. Something that I kind of notice is they tend to make archers more often than crossbows. When, in theory, crossbows are just such a all-around more versatile units than archers. Sure, they don't have the mobility, but when it comes to these engagements, like unless you're Abbasid with the bonus attack speed, I would take crossbows over archers any day of the week.
Yeah. Looks like VortiX is just playing the slow game, though. He's just circling around. He's got a unit in the east side waiting for MarineLorD if he moves out. He's got his main mass on the front side, and now he's starting to secure up these sacred sites.
Scout from MarineLorD just running through the base from VortiX. Wants to know what units exactly he'll be making. No siege so far from him. I expect the first couple of mansions to come out soon, though, and MarineLorD should probably anticipate this and get a siege workshop out. Lots of infantry buildings still, though. That's a lot of barracks, and he's not even producing out of all of them at the moment.
Nope, he's going into some of those blacksmith techs that he's missing out on, and there goes the queue. Couple more men-at-arms, couple more crossbows into the queue, but this is definitely going to eat into his food eco quite a bit. He's on those deer, he's on the back berries, but that's the last little bit of food eco since he does not have the map control, and we have seen him drop, what is that, 5 farms so far.
Yeah, Mandrany coming in now. MarineLorD looks like he already has the Siege Workshop in, so first Spring Guild will be out and on its way soon. So the Mandrany itself won't really achieve a lot here from VortiX, and it looks like we are going to be heading once again into kind of like a siege-centric game here.
If you're VortiX, do you start trade?
You could. You 100% could. Like, for Ayubits and Abbasid, the trade is so cheap, only 80 resources per trader, compared to 120 for other civilizations. Just getting up a single market and like getting in 3, 4, 5 traders, 100% an option here for him. Long term, the golden income from that is going to be absolutely huge. 3 sacred sites now for VortiX, so he's sitting, and already decap, so he's sitting on a lot of passive gold income right now.
Yep. Does have double mangonels, so Springles, even though MarineLorD does have that counter unit, it's going to take a couple shots to take down those mangonels, so he will not be able to take that fight until the next Springald comes out, and then he can really start one-shotting those. But villagers, he's gotten to the point, I think, running low onto the food count, needs to transition into more and more farms, or else this military production is going to start lagging.
We're up to 20 men-at-arms now, and sure, there are camel lances, but the camel lances are also going to be countered out by this big ball of crossbows that are coming out right now. +2 pierce damage at least has come in now for VortiX, so the archers will be able to do a little bit of damage against the men-at-arms. Not nearly as much, though, as the crossbows will be able to.
Oh, villagers.
Villagers.
2 vills get taken out on the gold. Good little pickup, maybe even a 3rd. Yeah.
And baiting his opponent out onto the map now.
Double mangonels. Double mangonels.
Oh! Short though. And now the Springles move out.
He has to cancel that one. He has, oh, he didn't end up building the other one. He had it in process for a while. He does have one built at least. Mangonel gets shot, Mangonel gets taken out, and both fall immediately. VortiX's Springle was just watching.
And the Camel Lancers, they're getting taken down so quickly. In the blink of an eye, most of the Camel Lancers down. Now MarineLorD has a sizable army value lead here in this one.
Yeah, VortiX really needs to start getting some crossbows. You can see the queue already immediately swaps from archers. 9 crossbows in queue. So starting to get that correct counter unit out. But is it going to end up being too late? MarineLorD starting to move out and across, and it's not the food he was needing. It's the gold. Oh no, he moved out early.
The archers. Oh, losing a lot of villagers there. That's a big pickoff. Suddenly, VortiX does have the villager lead. Relic lead behind as well. MarineLorD, he's making a mangonel now behind this, so he will fully invest into a siege wall. Lots of villagers go down, archers are going down as well. Military for VortiX looking very, very slim though right now. 25 to 41, and the siege advantage heavily in MarineLorD's favor right now. Food income for VortiX doesn't feel that great, and we see a huge farm transition right now. This does not feel good. This does not feel good right now if you're VortiX.
Yeah, way late on that farm transition and just severely lagging on the food, but at least has some time. Archers are stalling out for a little bit, building a few more siege, trying to get the siege superiority, but there's still 3 Springalds out on MarineLorD's side, so we'll need a few more.
Yeah, definitely. And he just invested a lot of his wood into the farms, but he still has a lot more remaining. He can get 4 more Springles out, and then he should be in an okay spot for sure. Gets another Mandranik out. We need Springles, not Mandraniks right now. Like, a couple Mandraniks are fine, but you mainly need Springles to have an answer to your opponent's Mandraniks as well. You just invested a lot into the crossbows. Now your crossbows are vulnerable against your opponent's Mangonel. Not that he's seen it yet, though.
Still doesn't have the crossbow number he needs, which makes perfect sense. He's been lagging on the food income. Uh-oh. Villagers need to start... Oh, needs to fall back here.
And the really awkward thing is that he doesn't have the time to build up his Springle. Will have to get deleted. MarineLorD is pushing it now.
Body blocked. Villagers might need to start doing some healing here on the Manganiques. Manganiques might just need to turn, get some shots off before they get taken down. Instead, VortiX. Yep, nope, there it is. Fast heal starting to come through. One gets body blocked. Springald's able to hit though.
Back it up. It's up. Move back.
Oh, this is not looking good for VortiX now. Getting pushed into his base, has one outpost to defend, has the second TC, but only 7 spots in there, and man-at-arms are in the base.
Crossbow number starting to thin out as well. Only 8 remaining. MarineLorD doubling that number. More coming out still, and the man-at-arms keep pushing in. The Springles, with 3 of them out, able to one-shot those villagers with each of the volleys. VortiX was able to equalize the villager count. Now MarineLorD 15 ahead, and GG gets called. MarineLorD now taking another game and putting himself in the lead once again.
Yeah, I mean, I get what VortiX did during that fight, which was try to take down as many villagers as he could, but the big problem there wasn't, I mean, he was going to lose the fight already, but he lost it even harder, and then MarineLorD obviously took that victory and just snowballed it into his base. But I feel like VortiX, if he had gone crossbows instead of archers, it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah, I agree. Just the archer play there, definitely not working out in his favor. Just not quite good enough against those man-at-arms. Also, if you go for crossbows, chances are you will be proccing the Mameluke's buff from your blacksmith a lot more often on them.
Yeah, and we saw that, you know, MarineLorD just slightly was able to win that siege war, and once you're able to take down the first 1-2 siege engines, it's kind of over from there. He had 3 Springolds, and VortiX then immediately has to build 4 Springolds to be able to do anything before building Manganiques.
And now we're nearing the Zhuji game. Here it is, Migration, MarineLorD with Zhuji's Legacy, not against the Malians like we thought, but against the Mongols from VortiX. So this will be an interesting one. Can the Mongols deal with the Zhuji's Legacy?
It is definitely a hard task to deal with. Zhuji is just one of those civs that is near and dear when it comes to these hybrid, when it comes, well, I guess more of these pure water maps. They're so hard to deal with. They just have that vaulting, you know, economy when it comes to feudal age, cheaper castle, everything of the sort kind of just going for them.
Exactly. Good transitions, very good, like just persistent income with that meditation garden, with the Imperial officials. Mongols, they're a little bit more of the, I want to say, weird boy when it comes to how they play water or how they really deal with water. It's going to be a lot of emplacements. A lot of docks should be the name of the game there. I would imagine VortiX potentially transporting villagers over to the middle, putting up docks on the side of MarineLorD there, and trying to get the emplacements in there.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when Mongols played hybrid maps, and it was like, do you build the Uvu? Do you not? And now it's like, well, with emplacements there, it's definitely end up worth it. It ends up paying for itself by far. But that's only if you can, you know, get docks in good positions here, and if you kind of get to that point. Whereas Zhuji, they have their own way of getting some passive stone, but not only stone, but a lot of other resources as well.
Exactly. Just giving so much versatility over to Zhuji's Legacy truly makes them one of, if not the best civilization on water. Also, just in the late game, having access to by far the best ship, the Baochan, with the Nest of Bee emplacement. Like, if it gets to the late game and you get Baochans with Nest of Bee emplacement out, you kind of know that it's over when you don't have a direct answer to that.
I mean, if we're getting to the late game on migration, I'll be kind of surprised here, because usually this
interesting.
I was about to say that usually this is another one of those maps that we're not getting to those 45, 55-minute gameplays. It's usually 15 to 20, maybe on the longer end, 25, 30.
Yeah, it tends to be a little bit quicker, but we have seen like longer-ish migration games so far, and when they do come in, they tend to be really weird. Like it starts to like kind of turn into a land map almost, just a complete land map. Suddenly everybody's on the middle, everybody's fighting around that middle. Reminds me of one game. I think it was Baltune that played versus Demu. I think it was. I'm not sure if it was during practice or in the group phase, but I think it was Demu playing Abbasid or Ayubits, and he had his main landmark, the House of Wisdom, on the island. And at one point, Baltune just sends like 15 rams or something like that with palace guards across and just snipes the landmarks.
Oh, that, I mean, got to give the people what they want. I'd be all for it this game, but unfortunately there is no Abbasid, and it'd be pretty hard to do some Mongol landmark sniping. Same thing with Zuji as well, since they can fast build some landmarks and got multiple ones.
Exactly, and now it's time for game number 6 to be underway. Here we go. VortiX playing as the Mongols in the color yellow against MarineLorD in the color pink, playing as Zhuji's Legacy. This is match point now for MarineLorD, so VortiX truly has to give it his all if he wants to challenge Beastie in the finals.
Yeah, Beastie ready and waiting, watching. I'm sure he's analyzing these games as we speak, or for sure going to be watching some replays of these. But docks already dropped. We're going to see some fishing start to happen here soon. And then from there, the migration.
Migration indeed. It's going to be a while until then. So far, players are just going to be happily content on their little islands. And overall, looking at this little island for MarineLorD, looking at the potential meditation garden spots, there's a pretty good one right next to this TC. You got gold. You got probably a couple of the berries that you could clip. A little bit of the woodline as well. So all the resources on one screen here, potentially, for MarineLorD.
Yeah, no complaints from MarineLorD having that MarineLorD spawn. Pretty typical for himself. Not going to be a game where we see the scouts get it deleted either, because getting some vision on that next island is quite important.
Yeah, and also just being able to scout out where the deep sea fish are, also very, very important, because the spawns can be kind of random when it comes to like the deep sea spawn location around your base. VortiX, I want to say, has a pretty good one overall. Like all the sheep, I want to say, all the fish for MarineLorD are kind of further towards the back of his base. Meanwhile, for VortiX, they're all kind of like spread around. Gives him a couple more options overall, I want to say.
Yeah, has a spot for a back dock with I'm pretty sure a decently close deep sea fish on that eastern side. But either way, we have both players, I'm sure getting about to be moving over to gold, as VortiX just now starting to gather himself.
Zhuji's Legacy don't really need to go out to gold right though at the beginning, just because they're getting enough from taxes to be able to age up. And yeah, also having the discount, like paying 30 less gold on your fuel age landmark, just makes it so much easier to just get that with taxes only.
Yeah, I guess that is just a few more drop-offs. He's going to have a good amount of taxes from the dock and from the lumber camp that he has as well.
VortiX might be the first one to age up here. Actually already has the transport ship, is going to be sending the Khan and the villager over to the middle, and this might be the play that we talked about earlier, where he's just going to be putting that transport ship over to the middle, sends the units over, and then put docks on the other side of the main island.
Yeah, give yourself some nice vision that denies some moving out onto this channel, makes it very, very difficult for MarineLorD to actually get off of his island.
Also just gives VortiX a very, very nice point to start attacking from. Transport ship, not sitting idly by, is going to move over in order to try and get some vision over on MarineLorD's base. Just a little bit more food needed for him in order to be able to age up. Deerstones, in the meantime, is going to be coming in for VortiX.
I think we might... Are we going to see an Uvu get dropped there on the big stone?
Could be. Definitely will want some stone here at one point. Might be that he just wants to play without stone at the beginning, just in order to get the timing in a little bit better with his aggression.
Deerstones is about halfway. MarineLorD hasn't started his age up, but will come quite quickly once it does. And there it is, 6 villagers on the meditation gardens.
gonna be getting in a lot of resource. Transport ship, scouting for VortiX, so should be in a position to find the fishing ships very soon there from MarineLorD. And it looks like MarineLord's actually overtaking VortiX here with the age up timing.
Yeah, I mean, that's just its Chinese build speed.
Pretty good.
There is the second dock. So VortiX is trying to use this Deerstone's timing to get some aggression on out. New age begins for MarineLorD, though.
Doesn't immediately have enough resource to get any ships out, though. And there is a transport ship with a single unit, probably the scout, I would imagine, making its way across to the middle of the map now. For MarineLorD. And first, military ship, in form of a sprinkled ship, is coming out for VortiX. Khan spots the...
We
What is
know
he
how
doing?
little damage that does.
It's gonna ramp up, right? It's gonna add up.
I mean, it is going to end up adding up, especially if he gets in range of a sprinkled ship that's about to pop out here for VortiX.
Sprinkled ship's already out. Probably doesn't want to show that right now.
Oh, it's already made its way across.
Yeah, and there's the archer ship now as well. Sprinkled ship could start doing some damage on the wood line as well here, potentially.
Ooh.
Now he's going to
But-
be in line of sight.
Look at MarineLorD ready and waiting with an archer ship. He does choose to hit a villager and now swapping over to the archer ship.
There's a demo ship already. Another archer
Oh.
ship though.
There's the
Oh! Gets a connection with the arrow bolts on that demo ship. Nice snipe there for MarineLorD.
a huge snipe from MarineLorD, because if he doesn't take down that demo, that allows MarineLorD to posture at this position point for longer, which we saw how much idle time that actually just caused MarineLord's whole entire wood line to shift.
Yeah.
And a lot of low health villagers, I'm not gonna lie.
VortiX behind this, building up his numbers once again. Up to 2 sprinkled ships, 2 more gonna be in queue now. So overall, the numbers are looking great here for VortiX. The question is gonna be, can he really take those fights? One of his sprinkled ships, kind of low in health, half-ish HP. Oh, and he's splitting up his archer ship and his sprinkled ships. I'm not sure if he can really afford that. He does still have manned the sails, but if he cancels that by an accident or something,
He's
those
got
demo ships
another.
will make quick work of that.
Yeah, he does have another archer ship in queue, probably gonna be on its way heading over there, but it will take some time. MarineLorD spots out the triple sprinkled ships. Archer ship circling around the backside, but will he actually get any damage on the fishing boats? Doesn't look like it.
Unlikely, will have to back off, but at least keep the
Oh,
MarineLorD on those
demo.
demo ships.
That's a win.
Yep, that's worth it. Archer ship even survives.
And now VortiX circles around the other side. Woodline has to get
Ship.
repositioned yet again. That's so much idle time.
Yeah, it's just being so annoying on different sides right now. Archer really needs to back off though now. Doesn't have a lot of health remaining. Can, in theory, use the villager that he has on that next to the dock in order to repair that archer ship. And military count so far. I mean, VortiX, he's just been climbing up right now. MarineLorD does have 2 demo ships, but 5 sprinkled ships. The value definitely in VortiX's favor right now.
Yep, and VortiX even getting ready to drop another dock. He wants to just continue this onslaught, continue this pressure as long as he possibly can. And the more he does this, if MarineLorD gets a little risky with those villagers, the wood lines are not too easy to grab. Oh, speaking of, more
Hello?
villager idle time.
Yeah, MarineLorD's kind of struggling for wood access right now on his small island. Little choke point now. Does also make it hard for demo ships to pop through.
Yeah, MarineLorD's up to
Ooh, and the sneaky
oh,
demos.
we see the demo flank coming in. Wow, that
MarineLorD.
choke point is super small. It's so hard for ships to get through. There's a lot of demos from both of these players, just kind of ready, waiting, watching for that perfect timing point. We got the dual screen coming up. There's 2 fishing boats. Is that really what we want to blow up? Oh, I guess so.
Okay.
I only got
Only getting one.
my
Ah,
There were
that's
so many fishing boats to the south there. Look,
disappointing.
give us a little hover to the south here. A little bit further to the south.
yeah, the
That's the
south.
one. Bottom side of the map. You know, we're just gonna pass. All right, well, sitting in the channel, VortiX, he's just, again, trying to wait for this perfect opportunity to pressure on up. MarineLorD was able to drop a forward dock. I think he even got arrow slits on that one, so makes it hard for VortiX to get through this channel. So VortiX is stepping up. I guess this is his timing. Thinks he has to take it. Great micro by MarineLorD, able to snipe down all of the demo ships.
Yeah, VortiX not quite getting the connections that he hoped for. At least he's doing some damage to that dock with the emplacements out there. 2 more demos. They could actually get some good damage there. There we go.
There's
That's
some
what we're talking
fishing boat
about.
kills.
MarineLorD still has an eco lead though.
And these docks do not have emplacements on it. It is not the Mongols with an Uvu. This is the no Uvu Mongol play. It is all about the water and VortiX. Good trades there with the demos. He is on that defender's advantage with some healing as well. Good dodge by his frontline demo, playing a little weaving and weaving all around those, but ultimately both demos fall and VortiX is able to take down the forward dock that MarineLorD dropped and a villager with it.
Yeah, MarineLorD though does have the sprinkled ship lead overall. When you look at the military con, MarineLorD is in the lead. How long can VortiX really posture around there at the front? Any little bit that he is able to eke out there though is going to be an advantage for him, as he is depriving MarineLorD of a lot of the wood on his island.
And actually MarineLorD's at the point, he's on his last wood line. That's safe. The other one's on the front side right next to the docks, and it's not even that big either. So VortiX is playing the smart play, and a minute or two ago, MarineLorD was up 8 to 10 eco, I feel like, but the fishing boat plays on the backside from VortiX with his demos is actually starting to eat into MarineLorD's lead.
Yeah, and now sprinkled ships starting to attack the other dock there on the side. MarineLorD, he doesn't have too many docks out, so every single one that goes down will hurt his production quite a bit, and he's investing a lot into demo ships. So is VortiX. We're seeing a lot of demolition ships once again coming out from these players.
Oh, is the village going to start getting focused? No way.
Looks like it.
Oh. But the docks are about to get focused from MarineLorD. I think they're
that's
just
idle
about
time
to
on
have a
the food.
trade.
It's gonna be a lot of idle time on the food then.
And MarineLorD's going to struggle to ream boom on the docks, whereas I think VortiX can at least take the middle island.
Yeah, looks like demo ships though. No
Good
big connections.
reaction by MarineLorD. He's still got to be dealing with this stuff at home though. And oh my, demos at home.
Yeah, demos at home indeed.
No
way! It's happening again!
Deja vu. MarineLorD can see all of that. He has so many docks. He has TC vision. He knew exactly what was coming.
Oh, weird, man. That is not a feels good moment there. VortiX just losing. Like, what was it? 8 demo ships there. Slowly but surely, villages are going
taking out the
down.
villages. Yeah, if he takes down double villages, this will heavily cap MarineLorD, and
Where does he
he's
even have
already
space
about to be capped.
Yeah, where does MarineLorD even have space to drop new villagers? The starting island, it's so small. There it is. That's the space.
I mean, that's his only space, whereas VortiX, he's kind of given up that forward positioning point he had. He does have an Uvu now. Oh, able to take down a couple ships in return.
Damn, placement.
And there's the villages. One village goes down, 2 village goes down.
MarineLorD's cap.
Pop capped again.
Slowly getting the population space back, but it takes a while.
There he
MarineLorD
goes.
up to 14 demo ships now. Has to be careful not to fall prey to the same thing that happened to VortiX there. Curl ties, some long distance chopping. Gur finally gets replaced.
But the curl tie is on its way. Does VortiX have? I mean, I guess his eco at home isn't really a worry because MarineLorD has to send so much to go there to go deal with it and deny it. And by that time, VortiX can have another
something
battle.
though. I think MarineLorD is sending something. I'm not sure if it's a fishing ship or what it is. Has a lot of line of sight. It is a single archer ship. That's going to be able to actually do a lot of damage there to VortiX. Springle Cruise is coming in now. VortiX, he does see the Navy from MarineLorD. Not a fight still that he wants to take yet. Probably also sees a lot of the demolition ships. Actually, no, demolition ships are being sent around the other side. VortiX, he can't fall for this bait right now. MarineLorD's kind of baiting him on the side now.
He still doesn't quite have Springled Cruise finished yet. Definitely needs that before wanting to take this fight. Archer ship goes into the backside. Demos are still circling, but I think VortiX can get vision of the demos, and demos for VortiX. He has vision of this.
Coming in.
Oh.
Does he realize though? Does he realize it? And now it's all coming together. It's all coming together.
He doesn't see it.
Oh my god, some big connections about to take place here. Overall, not the worst though. VortiX is still alive and he does have upgrades. Piracy has come in as well. He actually got a lot of resources out of that. Look at the amount of resources VortiX has in the bank.
But Piracy's gonna pay so much with these demos.
It's so much. Oh, body blocking though. Ah, that's gonna be good connections coming in. Lots of Springle ships going down. But in the end, there are still docks up here for VortiX, and he can still rebuild a lot of units with that piracy income now.
Yep, and there's another boat that he's able to take on down, and now this is where the numbers look even for the most part, but VortiX, he's an age ahead, and Armored Hull's coming in. This is now going to be the huge difference maker for him.
Much it, Archer ship, both trying their best to get rid of those demos.
I mean, the split happens, VortiX loses a few more. MarineLorD still taking some good trades. And the Archer ship that was given some aggression finally forced on away.
MarineLorD is going to be able to age up now as well. Shaolin Monastery coming in.
But
he's
my
still
question is how much
on
wood?
his main
Where's his
island.
wood? Where's his wood?
Yeah, it's not a lot. It is not a lot at all, and might actually be under fire soon.
Oh, I think he just lost a couple villagers on that wood line right as we clicked on away, but even still, MarineLorD pushed those boats back away. Armored Hull has finished, so VortiX is severely outnumbered, and MarineLorD is about to be completely out of wood.
Indeed, 8 Springle ships right now, though, for MarineLorD. So he does have a couple more than VortiX does right now. Just needs those upgrade. Armored Hull is going to be the one that he's prioritizing. Only 30 seconds until that one comes in. Behind this, he really needs to start taking control over the middle part of the map. He did take down 2 of the docks, so that gives him a landing point right now. And VortiX, outside of the Khan, doesn't really have any military that he can put forward. VortiX the first one now to make his way out onto the middle of the map.
Oh, and there it is.
That's the point in time. There it is. Yeah.
They all go to the berries.
What MarineLorD can do, he can get a single Shaolin monk out, and then just go over to the middle, right? Then you have a military unit that can heal itself, do some damage, and just overall be very effective, and also protect his units there. 16 villagers are gonna make their way now over to the mainland. He's
Did
gonna have to hope
VortiX
that he
drop an
doesn't.
outpost next to this gold vein?
He is dropping an outpost there.
That's going to be huge for him then.
Our ships. Not hitting the demos. In placement with that dock. A lot of damage there. Oh, MarineLorD rushing up a stable.
Khan gets vision of
knights.
it though.
We're getting knights though. Outpost getting rushed up now by MarineLorD as well. And MarineLorD still in a decent holding position here on water. Not getting overwhelmed by VortiX. And now he might take control over the middle island. And it's only an arrow system placement for VortiX. Not a Springleton placement that's coming in on
Oh,
that
and the
outpost.
comm gets circled.
Oh,
GG's
no.
in the chat.
That hurts. That definitely hurts.
The first Knight's out for MarineLorD too. VortiX spotted it, but I don't think he's been able to react to it yet. He's had to put so much into this water eco now, and it feels like MarineLorD's just barely been able to eke out with all these timings.
Yeah. Just not having access to wood for such a long time. But now that he has wood again, finally able to make units again. First Shaolin Monk, now also going to be coming in. VortiX starting to move forward. MarineLorD evacuating the wood line, knows that that is likely something that will be in range on water.
He's going over to that gold vein though, I think.
He's getting some villagers over there, but yeah, he will find out that somebody's also already taking a claim to that one. Is indeed going to move back now.
Keshik's there though. Might be able to get a little bit of damage. Gets a kill. Woodline has to get evacuated. This is a good bit of idle time. There's the Knight coming
Knight's
back.
on the far side. He didn't expect VortiX to be all the way on his side. Archer ships though, and
Keshik.
ships.
Oh, a little too close for comfort there.
Too close to the sun. And MarineLorD, I mean, in theory, he does have the military lead on land right now. And there we go. Lancer, and there isn't a lot of military right there for VortiX, and VortiX is struggling when it comes to gold. Doesn't have the gold in order to produce too many Keshiks. And just the mass of Lancers right now could be really hard for him to deal with.
Jumps inside the outpost, hoping to clear up the Lancer with the outpost fire, and 2 more Keshiks in production, which will give a little bit of more aggression back out. But MarineLorD, he's dropping another outpost at that location. Another villager falls.
Another dock emplacement coming in on that one immediately. Already takes a lot of damage though from these sprinkle chips there that VortiX has. Quite a lot, means that he is able to do a lot of damage to that one.
Demos trying to go in.
Gets sniped by the archer ships for the most part. One demo gets close, doesn't quite get the connection though. Meanwhile, small fights happening on land, and one of the outposts actually shooting across the wood line. As long as the Keshik is alive and giving line of sight there. Archer ships though, archer ships need to be careful.
Oh no! VortiX didn't realize what's going on in land. He's gonna lose all those.
Oh no, loses a couple of villagers there.
MarineLorD just put more of a focus into this landmass, and now that there's almost all of the economy over on this landmass, both players need this spot very, very bad.
Springleton placement though on one of the outposts, that's not something that MarineLorD can really sit around for too long. We'll need more unit mass, and the second that Keshik is able to provide line of sight on that wood line from MarineLorD, villagers will start dying again. I'll get an outpost up.
Keshiks look like they're starting to circle around, starting to dive. This is feeling like more of the chaotic mass than more of the water map here. Nope, that's a crossbow there. Shaolin Monk, I think, starting to grab the relics from MarineLorD as one is in the bank.
Yeah, one relic at least has been collected up so far. Shaolin Monk did go down though while trying to fight the outpost. Now VortiX pushing forward again. But the archer ships are forward, and now they're kind of pinched. They can't really move back now. It's going to be a lot of archer ships going down. Looks like VortiX also sending in a couple of units around the side. A couple of demo ships. Ships trying to get close. Still so many fights going on very many different angles there. Yeah, looks like there was a demo ship taking a couple of fishing ships down with it once again. Fight still ensues. Piracy really paying off here for VortiX right now. Already has gotten a lot of resource from that. Every single time a demo ship gets killed or gets exploded, good connection though. That's gonna be 50 resource going over to VortiX.
And look at MarineLorD having to fully leave that location. He is just doing a mass expedition over to the eastern side, trying to find a spot to gather some gold, trying to find spots to gather some wood. And if VortiX finds that with some Keshik mass, it could be even more devastating than what we've been seeing.
Same thing going for VortiX though. He's also had to move to another gold vein, as the first one was under attack. Couple of outposts now being dropped by VortiX, wants to get a little bit more vision over that central island. MarineLorD, I want to say he's completely stabilized now. There was a lot of aggression coming in from VortiX there early on. But behind this, MarineLorD now fully stabilized. 14 Springle ships to 9. And there we go. MarineLorD finding the gold vein from VortiX.
It looks like VortiX dropping a couple outposts along that middle of the map as well. So both players just trying to get vision of this central point. Crossbows, though, moving over to this gold side location. Crossbows, though, they can't deal with those outposts.
Yeah, not at all. Might be able to snipe a couple of villagers, but won't be able to deal with those sprinkled and placement outposts. At the same time, though, MarineLorD just sends a couple of villagers and will build another outpost of his own. Priest, very low health, will probably get taken down on his way back. And once again, the archer ships going a little bit too deep. Losing a couple of them means that VortiX won't have enough of a response against this many demolition ships. That's suddenly coming in. Couple good connections there, though, from VortiX, but still, demolition ships from MarineLorD looking quite healthy yet. Has to be careful, though.
Demos flying a little too close to the sun as well for MarineLorD. Good return fire there, and just good trades either side, but MarineLorD also picking up some connections on to the land.
And now there's another Springle ship, once again in the economy from VortiX. Villagers getting pulled against the outpost, but villagers also getting pulled just to repair it. And VortiX is losing so many villagers, and they're just trying to get it down. Springle placement, no hand cannon placements coming in. The ammo connections coming in on water as well. Both these players fighting on land and on water at the same time. But VortiX just losing so many villagers on the gold mine.
He just lost like 15 villagers on that.
So many villagers did go down there. Heavy economic hit there. Won't be able to afford too many more demo ships now without the gold income for it. And MarineLorD is pushing through. Has the upgrade demo ships, more radius now, and a big connection coming in here. That's a lot of Springle ships taking heavy damage. Will get taken down now, and GG gets called. MarineLorD with the 4-2 wins the series.
What a game-ending match. Absolutely crazy. Feels like that was a chaotic map. Feels like VortiX had so many chances to get close to ending it, but MarineLorD just barely was eking out those timings, was just bouncing between wood lines, just barely able to get across right when he ran out of wood, but proved to be just enough.
Yeah, and you know what that means? That is gonna set us up for an absolute classic final between MarineLorD and Beastie.
Not just an absolute classic grand finals, but also what will feel like a nice little scrim between the Spanish bros. That's right, because we are going to be going back to the OG matchup of Beastie versus MarineLorD. Incredible series, by the way, from both players. I think, VortiX, it sucks to lose 4-2, but Dabston, the fact that he was able to just put a dent in MarineLorD's armor, I mean, maybe this paves the way for Beastie. It's almost like he's the guy that got the little cut on the impenetrable god, and then everyone else is now like, wait a second. This guy, he can be beat.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely saw some, not necessarily weaknesses, but I'll just say, holes in the armor, chinks in the chainmail over there that you can maybe take advantage of, maybe get an arrow or two through. And that's where, VortiX, it wasn't just 2 games he was able to take. It was also the potential to take a lot of the other ones. A lot of the other games were very, very close. Were one of those that 1 or 2 different outcomes of a fight could have just been the whole difference.
And, maybe some opportunities to overload even someone like MarineLorD, right? Something that we saw today, Beastie is capable of. If you remember that Archipelago game that I think we won't be forgetting anytime soon, Crackety.
That was a lot of demos, man.
Hey, we've still got 2 more series. It's always possible that we could actually break that record. In fact, let's have a look at the standings because we've now kind of carved that up. We can see how things are going to play out here. Tomorrow, we are going to be kicking off with a Lucifron versus VortiX best-of-5 matchup to see who gets that 3rd place match. Be warned, you will want to be here bright and early because in my experience, of which I've been doing this since the game released, those series go really fast, Dabston. Like half an hour fast, even when they're best-of-5s.
Yeah, I mean, they're scrim partners. They play against each other so much. They're also both very aggressive / timing players. So they're kind of ones that they know like, oh, he has a lead now. I had a bad fight. It's over. I might as well forfeit. And it's just they're super, super quick and just kind of they're deciding the game and just ending the game right then and there.
And of course, the absolute blitz of MarineLorD versus Beastie. With what you've seen here today, Crackety, I think going in this, everyone just thought, we love Beastie, but MarineLorD's on another level. Is this all of a sudden a set that's a 50-50 coin flip?
I mean, judging from how the semifinals work, right? Like VortiX and Lucifron both being brothers, both MarineLorD and Beastie winning with the exact same score, does kind of set us up for very, very even finals here.
Any big takeaways you've been seeing here so far, Dabston? Like maybe, I think the interesting thing is when we go from group stage to playoffs, I always say the meta tends to kind of lock in and things don't change too much. Is there any big surprises you've seen this weekend that we need to keep an eye out for tomorrow?
I mean, watch out for demo ships. I think is the big thing from today. It's just there was a lot of demo on demo violence. How many times did we see? I feel like 5 to 10 demo ships get taken out by 1 to 2. It was just too many times to count.
I feel like there's loads of times they're like, oh, I better move that. And then like, nah, it's not worth the APM. Just hit the detonate and go. I mean, we even saw that ridiculous fight in the first series, Crackety. What was it? One player just full on clumped and the other one prematurely detonated. I mean, it just shows you how chaotic these water maps can be.
Yeah, a little bit of both, right? At one point, just having so many demo ships that even a mass archer ships just cannot deal with it. And here we go. There we go.
This was just before we got to the stage of the game where Beastie went up to what, 17 archer ships, I think it was. He's like, yeah, this needs to be culled right now.
And yeah, so real quick, we go from 35 total demo ships on the field to 5.
But by the way, that was actually played out in real time. There were so many explosions, our PC almost crashed. Absolutely fantastic one.